I think that also drives
And
clicks.
then the anchor is going to close, and then he's going to go back and say, Democrats didn't vote to open the government.
But
That's what they gonna do every time.
But Republicans do that.
I ain't talking about Republicans. I'm talking about the anchor, the media.
I know, but the Republicans have done that so successfully that I think. Is in the audio levels too?
Yep.
Okay, flipping it. What's up, everybody? We're live. We're alive here at the heartland of Empire. Here in the Devil's Nest. That's right, we're in Washington, D.C. But unlike many of the congresspersons here today, we're going to be hanging out with a Congress member that I actually do think is awesome. We're going to be hanging out with Summer Lee. She's going to be walking us around, showing us around the Capitol. I'm going to try to recreate my favorite moment from January 6th where I'm going to walk in and go, Derek Evans has made it into the Capitol. Hassan Piker has made it into the Capitol as we're live streaming. You already know. You get a bunch of hogs, like you and I, me and March, in the Capitol is basically January 6th. You know what I'm saying? It's basically. How are those? Do people like those jokes? Do they get mad about that?
It depends.
Are they sensitive about January 6th?
I can speak to that.
Which is the.
It's a mixed response. I think some are, some aren't.
The Capitol police don't love it.
Yeah, no, of course. We can ask them that too. Wait, okay, hold on. All right, we're good. I know chat loves it. Chat loves those jokes. Let's go taking a shit on Pelosi's desk. Okay, first of all, R.I.P. Nancy Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi didn't pass away, but she is finally retiring. It's an interesting day. It's an interesting day to be in Washington, D.C. From what I understand, it's quite empty right now because the House of Representatives is not in session, right? The reps are not in session, right? Only Senate?
Not in session.
Only Senate, yeah. So there's Senate stuff happening. I believe there's a vote actually that's supposed to be taking place in a couple hours in the Senate over Donald Trump bombing Venezuela. And of course they haven't been able to get enough votes to even demand that there is some sort of legal process to do these sorts of things, obviously. And we'll talk about a lot of that stuff and more, but you already know what it is. It's the blue wave time. It's blue wave. It's woke is back. Woke-mentum. It's zomentum. And you can kind of see it. There's a line filing up right now as staffers are trying to go in.
Show them.
What's up, man?
You want New York? That's awesome.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
But there's a line of people that are walking in, and they're not even patting them down. They're actually just making sure that they are abiding by Sharia law. They've already, the zomentum didn't just impact New York in a significant way. It seems like jihad has made its way into this nation's capital. That's right, woke Sharia is alive and well here in Washington, D.C. So yeah. You can't say that? No, I can say it. It's fine. I met Summer Lee and she was so kind and cool. All right, I'll tell her that. I'll tell her that you said that. What's up, man? Nice to meet you. No, you don't have to apologize.
Yeah.
We're live right now, by the way.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's all good. Yeah.
She's coming over here.
Okay. Should we go to her?
Yeah, she's on her way.
Here, take the.
New York City's still. Oh, hi.
Not you.
Hi. Wait, I'll
right.
come down here.
I know, you are so tall.
Hi.
Oh my goodness, who would have known?
Nice to
I am
meet
so
you.
short. Right? Hold up.
Yeah, you can get up here.
I don't want
if you
people to
want.
think that I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
that I'm super short.
Let's get you mic'd up.
All right.
And you can
What
put
is
that.
this, like a cute
so
little-
it's you just take the button off from the back. It's magnetic, and then you put it. Yeah, you put it in the back right there. Oh, there it
Yeah, I
is.
got it.
It's perfect.
Honestly,
and then,
sometimes we have magnetic.
and then you turn it like this.
Ah.
There we go. It's
All right,
perfect.
we're in here.
Okay.
I'm gonna try so hard to not hit this multiple times. How are you doing?
This is March.
I'm Summer. Have you met my people?
Hi, Hassan. Nice to meet you. I met everybody else.
Yeah, you
All
met
right,
me.
so we're very
My
excited.
chief is here, but he's a weirdo.
Nice to meet you. And is this security? What's going on, brother? Nice to meet you. All right, perfect.
All right.
So I'm gonna be honest, I
Yeah.
hate DC. I hate
See, that's because you don't know real DC.
Okay,
this is not
True.
DC.
No, I always do that caveat as well. Yes, you're
Yes.
absolutely right. I mean, like, this DC is
I am-
whenever I do stuff around
I
here,
feel you.
it's always like there's like an air of evil in the environment almost.
Even
feels
if
like.
it's not evil, I mean, it's like evil mixed with stuffy, mixed with
Yeah.
pretentious,
Yeah.
mixed with cloudy.
All right.
I'm very lucky that I met DC before all of this.
Uh-huh.
Like
Wait,
I got family from
you
the
have family
area.
here?
Yeah, I got family from the area. And I went to
Okay.
law school
Can
here
we go through
actually.
here?
We're going this way. That's why we wore this.
Okay.
So we are in one of the office buildings now. Mm-hmm. How you doing? They're with me. Some of them. I don't know the tall one. Yeah, I don't know him.
Don't do that.
No, I'm joking.
Damn, you really get him.
No, I'm joking. But yeah, no, we're over here. So listen, this is Capitol Hill. Capitol Hill, not DC, but this is actually it's kind of bustling. I'm a little bit shocked.
Yeah.
So like we're just oh my god, that is so. Listen, when you talk about staffs, this is my staff, and I like my staff very much. The staff over here that said, "Oh my god," when you walked in, is my roommate staff.
Oh, okay.
So I like them very much too. But listen, this is the cafeteria. Obviously, we're in like 6 weeks of a shutdown.
Yeah.
So I was not quite sure how. Like,
I'm surprised they're still feeding the staffers. They should be. I thought they would have cut down on their feed
the
too.
staff is feeding them. The staff are feeding themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they're paying for this.
Yeah.
They're paying for this food. Like it's a cafeteria, but you gotta pay for this food.
Yeah.
So we have a
Okay.
couple cafeterias. So it's like you have this one over here in this building. All the buildings have a little bit of something, and then the Capitol. But then yeah, this is where everybody comes. My team, y'all eat down here, right?
So, before we move around, is the audio good? Okay. Why don't you introduce yourself as well one more time so we do it the right way?
Yeah. Hey everybody, I'm Summer Lee. I represent Pittsburgh, Western Pennsylvania in Congress. So this is my second term. So I know my way around here a little bit, but not enough that I have enveloped the air of evil. But I'm a congresswoman, and I'm excited to show you all around.
We got friends. We got friends
We
in
have
DC.
some. I'm a progressive, actual, real life.
Yes.
Progressive, not the
Yes.
fake ones.
Yes.
So there are
She
some
really
of us here.
is. She is. She's dope. For those of you who don't know, but they know already. They know,
And if you don't, now you know.
and they're about to find out. All
Yeah.
right. So, what do you?
So let's do this.
What's the plan here? What are we doing
All
today?
right, so we're gonna go through here, right? So we're in one of our office buildings. We're gonna take a tour of the cap. It's gonna be an abridged tour because honestly, you could spend years going around this place. So we're gonna go through here. We're gonna go through like the tunnels. We're gonna see all that.
the tunnels.
Yeah. So we have
But,
all
like,
of these places
so
are
is it-
connected by tunnel. We're gonna walk through our tunnels. We're
Wow.
gonna go through the Capitol, hopefully. Right? We're gonna have
Okay.
to move quickly when we
Okay.
get like around the House floor.
Yeah.
I mean, you asked me. I'm gonna try to get you in the House floor if you want.
That'd be great.
I know y'all aren't gonna be able to come. Like the people aren't gonna be able to come with us.
Oh, they're not
but
gonna
I
be
might
able
be able
to.
to. Like the camera can't,
Oh, okay.
but we can peep in. I think we can
Okay.
peep in.
We can just do
So,
a
yeah,
quick
we're-
peep. This is my like January 6th tour. You know, that's what.
I don't know the route that they took on January
Yeah.
6th.
This is.
I don't think we're gonna take that route.
Yeah.
But
You know
no,
who
so
knows-
honestly, yeah. So like
you know who
everything is
knows?
connected
Was
by
it
tunnel.
Lauren
Right?
Boebert. She knows the route.
She knows there are people who know the route.
Yeah.
I wasn't even here when all that happened, so
Yeah.
honestly, I watched a video of that, and I was a little scarred by it, like watching it,
Yeah.
and now knowing just like being here, knowing how this place works, like to now envision like an actual insurrection happening here
Yeah.
is wild.
Yeah. Well, we were there basically because everybody was kind enough to live stream it,
Yeah, I know.
which was like I think that was
Yeah,
like.
but now knowing, like,
that's the- that's the-
what I know and seeing like the breaches that they were like really breaching defenses.
Yeah. It
Like,
was
they made it to
awesome.
places that they should not have been able to make it.
Yeah.
So that is a little jarring. But and you'll see, like just walking around here, like you will get it. Like you should not be able to get. Listen, dogs are
Dogs?
everywhere. Yes, I used to have an office dog too.
Way.
Everybody have an office dog.
That's cool.
Yeah, we love our office dogs around here.
I forgot that this is also all the politics nerds, so everyone keeps like passing by, being like, "That's Hassan Piker." I'm like, "What?"
Yeah, this is your place.
Yeah, this is
Welcome
like
home, brother.
this is like a convention.
Welcome home. So look, like right here, all right. So this is they're all with me. Hi guys. Sorry, it's gone. So look, this is the tunnel, right? This tunnel connects all the different office buildings.
Whoa.
And this is just the house ad.
This is what the QAnon people think is like the baby transportation tunnel. That's what they think is going
I
on.
don't know nothing about that. I missed that. But this tunnel, cute, is really nondescript tunnel, other than the fact that on the wall are like all these portraits. Mm-hmm. These are pictures, like every year, I think, we do a competition with kids, like high school kids. Every single district. So every district gets to pick a winner. So all these pieces of art are all kids.
I'm surprised Trump hasn't gotten into this as well. And just be like, we're going to take these down. And we're going to put photos of me.
Just him.
Yeah.
Just him.
Photos of me posted up. I actually found a rare Trump. You want to see? I posted it on my Instagram story earlier. And then I added you on it, but then I thought it looks weird if I post this and say, oh, like me and Summerlee are going to be in the Capitol. But have you ever seen this? I've never seen this. I'm going to show you guys too in a second. It's on my Instagram. Have you ever seen this?
No, I've never seen this, but I'm not.
That's the rarest Trump I've ever seen.
Honestly, is this real?
Yeah, it's from 2001.
It's the most normal he's ever looked.
That's a real.
It's very. He looks very normal in it.
Throwing a fit, like he's kind of blasting a fit here, and I'm a collector of rare Trumps. So this was a unique moment for me because I feel like I just have them for my own personal sake, safekeeping, you know.
Just for shiggles.
Yeah. That was.
Honestly, I'm not in the business of Trump. Trump, I don't follow him. I don't wake up and consume him.
That's definitely a healthier way.
This is for mental health. The only thing that I'm tickled by, and I'm not gonna lie, is at the end of his little stuff, his tirades now when he says, "Thank you for your attention to this matter."
Oh yeah.
I do chuckle at that.
That's so funny.
That's like the only thing that makes me laugh a little bit.
Yeah.
But other than that, yeah.
He's been having a tough go at it, especially with the blue wave that took place last Tuesday. He looked defeated. I like to analyze like how he feels off of his hair. And his hair was looking like shit.
See, I didn't look at his hair.
Yeah.
I think that's very fair. No, he should feel that way. But again, like you know how these things are. They call them waves for a reason. I hope that he feels a way about this wave.
Yeah.
I don't know that he's gonna.
What about that tunnel? Where does that go?
Okay, I don't have a damn clue. I think that tunnel might go to the Senate. Oh, I know where we're going. He was asking. I was just looking.
Oh no, I was just asking like where does that tunnel go?
I think it goes to the Senate set.
Whoa.
So look, the Senate, they have like little hideaways. They have better offices than us. They are much bigger.
What are they doing in the hideaways?
Chilling.
That's crazy.
So like you see how we got to walk from these, like we're all in these office buildings. We get 15-minute on calls for votes. Like that's it. And you got to get there, right? So when 15-minute come, you got to come from your offices, you got to run, you got to do whatever you got to do. The Senate has these little hideaways in these hallways. So they're closer.
Okay.
So they like them better. But like honestly, so this is just like.
Do we have bars down here, by the way? I'm shocked that we're still getting coverage out in these tunnels. It's not effing. It's not. It's still going.
All right, we're gonna go this way.
Whoop.
So we're gonna go up. Look. Okay.
How long did it take you to figure out? Okay, there's no way we're gonna get cut off.
Do you want to go up the steps?
No, we can take the elevator. It's all good. Even if it cuts off, it's fine. Okay. Or if it's too many people, we can actually just take the steps. If you guys don't mind.
We'll go here and some people will take the steps.
Okay. All right. So we're going up right now, right? So look, we were actually across the street. We're in the Capitol now. So we're headed up to the second floor. Guys, we're gonna have to be quick. Don't get caught.
Okay.
Okay.
They may ask us to not film, so just.
Okay. Yeah. We've done this before.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we do stuff. Okay. It's got bars in here. Damn. Wait. Oh no, it got cut. It just F.
Yeah, if it survived the elevator,
you got a hella
Wi-Fi.
It came back
on there.
You know what? Oh, all right. I think we're good. Let's see.
So it's actually.
They're saying hold. Yeah. No. It's here. We're back. So that's shocking because in the middle of Los Angeles where I live, I don't get service like this, and Congress has bars underground. That's crazy.
To be clear, when more people are here, we don't have bars like this.
True.
We have bars because nobody's here.
That's right. So why is nobody here?
So nobody's here because they have better things to do, I guess. Nobody's here because we are in the middle of the shutdown still. So like we saw all those staffers, but members of Congress, I have only seen like 2 today. But we haven't been here for 6 weeks. So like honestly, so right now we are actually literally outside of the speaker's lobby, right? So like right there, all these entrances are like, this is the House floor.
Wait.
So we're not by his office. I think we are gonna go by there.
Is this
This is the house floor.
No, but like, is this where the thing happened?
Oh yeah, where they? Is it? Yes. Philip knows. So Philip is our expert. He's our capital expert.
Yeah, that's it.
That's what we saw.
So if you're thinking about how close they got, like for real,
Damn.
literally on the other side of this.
On the other side of that, there was a Secret Service guy that shot, and wow, it was right there. That's like a scene of a crime. But I guess it's the Capitol. There's a lot of crime.
I'm gonna say there's scenes of many crimes. Yeah, but this is where everything goes down. So like honestly, when we're doing votes, right, you'll see all types of people bustling. Like usually this place is full of people, especially like right here. This is where they're gonna get. Like this is where we're gonna get got. Right here is. So this is the front door. Like you can see, like a very nice door.
Yeah.
This is the door that leads right from the steps. So people just come up here. All of this is lined with like press.
Yeah.
This is all press.
Wait, this is a real door? Or
This is a real
these,
door.
like fake doors?
This is a real door.
Oh, I can. Okay, I'm not gonna.
As it turns out, we cannot get in. Look, here we are.
Okay, I'm not gonna open it. See, that's why I said
wasn't sure who that man
January
was.
6th. I went J6 mode for a second. What's going on?
Don't say that. So you're trying to get. Why is he trying to get me caught up?
No.
You gotta stop joking like that, man. They're gonna put
Yeah.
us all out.
No, it's fine.
All over this place. Murals, marble. Actually, we're gonna go over to Statuary Hall, which is where all the problematic artwork is.
Ooh, I mean, there's some problematic people in that too. So.
Small fries over here.
Yeah. And then look, the fascies, because all the founding fathers were Rome weebs. They were weebs for Rome. That's why they have like the fascies, the bundles of sticks.
Look who's an expert.
I don't know. I'm just making stuff
Give
up.
me the tour. You know more than me.
I'm just making stuff up. I mean, this is cool. The architecture is actually pretty fire. I don't think I've ever been inside the Capitol before. Like I've never done like, because I didn't go to school here. I went to school in Turkey, so we never did the tours and stuff.
I went to school here, and we never took tours, but I went to public school. Oh, look, here's our news friends. They're always here.
Yeah.
So it's like, this is where CNN, Fox, NBC.
Oh, this is where
they line up.
This is where they come and they talk, and then there's so much echo.
Yes.
This is the best.
All echo.
This is the best location to do this.
It's because we're in the dome now. So we're in the dome. So the beautiful white dome, this is it.
Oh my God. Oh yeah, I remember people pouring in through here.
There it is.
All of my
So you can look up and see
understanding of the interior is literally from January 6th. I'm not even joking. Like
That's wild. If you say January 6th 3 times, Capitol Police comes and takes you. They just take you away.
I won't burn my third one. I'll wait. I'll wait for a good moment.
This is where all the statues live. Every state gets 2 statues. They were like no statues. All the statues were white people until like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
They're just now starting to put non-white guys into here, but every state theoretically got to pick like 2.
Person here.
Yeah.
That's cool.
No, they're all over the building though. This is where the most of them live. Every other part of this tour, you're gonna see some random statue of a guy who you don't remember.
What about?
Okay.
Oh. What about the? I was gonna ask about like the Pope guy, but never mind.
Yeah. See, you'll always get ran out of a place here.
Oh, and then there's like people who are protesting. Mike Johnson is starving families, and
This is Mike Johnson's office.
oh, this is. Oh yeah. Well, he's not here.
Of course he's not
He
here.
ain't here. He's.
But you know what? At the end of the day, people are just trying to.
Yeah.
We're trying to figure out why he's not here. Oh, this is
Yeah.
where all the problematic artwork here. So like, dead ass, this is the baptism of Pocahontas. This is so,
Oh my God.
like when I said this is problematic, like the baptism of Pocahontas.
No
This is wild.
way. Pocahontas, daughter of the influential chief poet.
This is not the
Thomas,
Disney
depicted
story.
As kneeling and she's being baptized, Rebecca. The ceremony took place in 1613 or 1614 in Jamestown, Virginia, first permanent English settlement on the North American continent. Reverend Alexander Whitaker performs the baptism as colonists, and members of Pocahontas' family look on displaying a range of emotions. Well, this is the way that Donald Trump wants to reflect on American history, right? So like this is
PragerU version.
Yeah, when he's like, it's woke. The museums are too woke. We got to fix it. That's what he's talking about.
Look at though. It's nice. It's very nice.
Yeah. Yeah, it is cool.
It's very fancy.
Yeah. What's up?
Huge fan.
Sure.
Honestly, I kind of work here. Don't want to say who I work for.
Okay, well, you're on live stream, just
Yeah,
so
no, I
you
know
know.
exactly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, believe me. But
All right, you want to get flicked up? Let's do it.
yeah, man.
Let me get out y'all's way.
Here's you want a picture?
I'm gonna tell your boss. No, I'm joking.
He's our,
You're
he's our
asking.
intern.
The intern is asking Summer Lee.
Hey, no, I'm
He's a great
bored.
That's
only intern right now.
crazy.
He's the best.
That's crazy.
The others are for large.
All right,
That's
nice
it.
to meet you. All right, get in here, bro. Come on.
We're humble
Quick,
office here.
quick.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
All right.
We gotta keep it moving, bro.
All right. Let's
Hell yeah. Nice
build
to
in the
meet you.
coalition. Let's go.
Hell yeah.
Take care, man. Have
All
fun.
right. I'm trying. I am actually. I'm having a lot of fun. This is fun.
So as you see, you might not know we're
So-
getting ushered out of this place too. But yeah, here's all the rest of the pictures. They're always the bit. That is the picture where like I think is that the one? One of these pictures is the one on the internet where they like circle all the slave owners.
Oh, it's probably that one.
Yes, that
Yeah,
is
the
definitely that
Declaration of
one. So like all these
Independence,
pictures
yeah.
depicting a very particular version of history. But
Damn. Abe had boots? He had Honest Abe? He had boots on. He had heels.
fashion setter. It was before his time.
He was tall as hell too. I think it's like inappropriate. If you're tall, you shouldn't be wearing boots at that, especially at that age.
So you don't wear boots?
No, I wear boots all the time. But I feel like we've gotten taller in general now. Whereas back
And
then.
you're taller than what I thought you were going to be.
Oh, really? Yeah. I do hear that sometimes.
No, because I always see you sitting down. Meanwhile, everybody else always tells me they thought I would be taller.
What is this? Oh, okay.
All right.
So where are we headed now?
All right, so we are headed now to the crypt. So we are right there, actually. So literally, this is under the point of the dome. So all of this is the crypt. Now, there are stories about this area, a couple things, right? You come over here.
Ooh, like spooky stories?
No, I don't think they're spooky. But like this, they say that right here. So this is the center. So this is like this is the center of the dome. But also, I think that this is where they get the quadrants in DC. So like if you leave Capitol Hill, you go to real DC. You can get northeast, northwest, southeast, southwest, DC. All of those quadrants are like based off of the center of this area.
Wow.
But is this the actual crypt where they claim that that George Washington is buried under?
Guys?
I gotta go back to my expert. Going back to my Capitol expert, Philip. He is allegedly buried underneath. He's not actually there.
Where
But
is he
they-
buried? Let's go find him.
Yeah, which actually is not far. But this is it's honestly, there used to be more stuff down here.
What are they doing? They're taking it?
I don't know. I
He's
think they
just
cleared
selling
out.
it. He's selling it to the Saudi royal family, piece by piece.
Well, this is yet and still the real people's house. People call the people's house the White House, but this is where the people's work actually gets done. But down here is also the Supreme Court. What? We just walk in. Y'all didn't tell us where to go. Where is the Supreme Court?
It's closed.
It's close. So the old Supreme Court was here. So before they used to have the big building across the street, they were literally just down here in the basement.
Oh wow.
Tiny little room in the basement of the Capitol.
That's I feel like that's better. They should go
That's
back
what I
to
said.
that.
When they cut up,
And they're in
they should go back to the basement.
yeah. And they're also closer in proximity to at least the elected representatives of the people whose lives they're deciding on.
For a life tenure.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy. Okay. All right.
All right, let's go outside. You want to go see the plaza?
Sure.
So you haven't been on inside. Have you been outside of the Capitol?
Not really. The only time I've ever been to Washington, D.C. is for the White House Correspondents' Dinner. And not even the dinner itself, but just events around
It's
it.
okay that you went to the dinner.
No, I didn't go. But I mean, it wasn't on some principal shit. No.
Go-Go is like the cultural music of real DC.
I think
Yeah, I
went
feel
to
like
a-
we should have had some go-go playing for you to actually receive you.
I went to a
wipe out
nightclub-
this place.
I went to
You've
a
not
nightclub
had-
one time.
You had chicken and mumbo sauce. Like, if you haven't done that part of DC, when you do that part of DC, then tell us how you feel about real DC.
Okay.
So
All
what
right.
brings you here? What brought you here today? Why'd you want to come to this place now?
I am here for CrookedCon specifically, but since I was doing that already, I thought, I'll go to New York earlier and go to the victory party, and then pull up here a day early so we could do this collaboration. And I'm really fortunate that you were able to take some time out. I mean, I know there's not a lot on your plate currently. So this is as good as a time as ever.
Disclaimer, I'm not on vacation. I can't speak for anybody else, but I'm not on vacation. We work for real.
What is this?
Oh, this is one of the people. This is so every state.
Father Damien.
Yeah, every state gets 2. So this is their second one.
He look like that, right?
According to the statue.
That's a cool way to look. He was so rotund.
Robust?
Yeah, or square. So rectangular.
Honestly, I've never looked him up. I'm intrigued. If you were here when this place was open, you would have made it through.
Yeah, it'd probably be a little annoying. I feel like this. It
It's
gets
on for
tough.
Congress.
It
We're
gets
gonna go this
tough.
way. So when you come back here and you're a member, they ain't gonna love you the same.
Oh, that's never.
Yeah, that's what everybody says. Everybody says, I'm not gonna do this. I don't wanna do this.
Never. Oop.
All right, we made it out of it. Okay,
I'm
so
already
look,
breaking stuff.
just to talk about where we started, we started over there.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so I met you all the way over there.
Whoa.
And we walked under. So that's how you can get on. So that's how, like, when it rains, weather, you can come under the tunnels.
That's pretty cool.
But when you come here outside, usually, so this is the plaza where everything is, right? We got all the office buildings. They're over on that side. Notice that we didn't go to the Senate. We don't go there.
Yeah. No. Well, there is the Senate is in session right now, isn't it?
Yeah.
They're doing stuff.
I'm not.
Some stuff.
Oh, okay.
Not a lot.
Something.
They're doing something,
They're doing
I guess.
something.
I don't know.
So we got like the Library of Congresses. So there goes the Senate. There goes the Supreme Court right over there. And then there's usually in session, right? You get people running over here. People are usually doing press conferences over there on the what we call the little triangle. Usually you have like press all lined up here. So when I say you press line from here, when you walk up the steps, all press till you get to the door. This is where the famous bill sat.
Oh yeah, I'm just the bill on
hit
Capitol.
over there.
I know that.
That's where the bill was.
Yeah,
This is a famous place.
Andrew Cuomo made a version of that as an AI,
And it was pregnant.
and it was pregnant. Yeah,
It was
weird.
pregnant sometimes, but not all the time.
It's weird that he just chose to make the bill sexualized.
Can
and
we
pregnant.
just say that I for one am excited that the most embarrassing campaign in history is over.
Oh my God, I know. I mean, I have obviously some personal.
Shout out to New York.
I have amazing. I have some personal investments as well in terms of like I'm glad that they're no longer dumping $3 million into putting my face on Knicks game advertising.
Yeah.
Next to the
They do that
burning
to you.
towers.
Yeah, you get.
Yeah, they were like, they were really pumping it. They really just went, we'll just tune the dial of racism up to 11.
And it's not gonna get better.
Yeah, no.
It ain't getting better
But
because there's no responsibility. There's no accountability. You know, the election's over. They lost. You think they're gonna be like, okay, we should be racist. We shouldn't be racist anymore.
Yeah.
Doubt it. But the citizens right over there.
Crazy because it's like he is technically supposed to be a Democrat, which makes it worse. I feel like. Because then it's like
We
if
should
you're
talk
doing
about
this,
that. Listen, they always say the party is a big tent. That tent has gotten much bigger. Like it's not expanding. I think we're expanding it. We're bringing in people.
But they're not.
Every
super
day we bring in
stoked.
somebody, they just go off the deep end more.
Yeah, for
whole
for
campaign
every
was
summer
off the
league, we
deep
need
end.
like 3 Klans members, I think, to moderate it. Is the attitude that some people have? I think not everybody.
No, it's not everybody.
Not everybody.
It's not everybody. But everybody should be. I don't know. I think there were some clear things people should be able to speak out against.
Yes, absolutely.
Like, just calling a guy running for mayor a terrorist for existing as a Muslim. Like that. Come on. That feels like something that every single Democrat should be able. Personally.
Yeah, even like people who took their sweet time to come out and endorse the
vote blue no matter who.
Democrat. Yeah, all the vote blue no matter who people were like very.
So you're not even getting a good shot.
quiet.
Let's swap it, bro.
it's
That's
the
not
light.
us. That's not even us.
Well, don't say
Oh, so, okay. I got you.
It's because of the sun.
I was like,
Yeah.
I wanted them to know where you at.
But that was
Cool.
somewhat frustrating to see. Do you feel like there needs to be more protection within the Democratic coalition as far as like
Yeah, absolutely.
as far as
No,
congressmen of like
absolutely.
marginalized background, no matter what.
Precisely. And it's like we can't keep saying that we want more people to participate. We want more people to care. We want people to vote. Honestly, I think it betrays it when they treat, when people treat like Zara like that. Yo, let's just sit down.
Well, I was thinking, this is the Hakeem Jeffries. This is the Hakeem Jeffries, Cory Booker. They sat down here, didn't they?
Everybody sits. First of all, everybody sits down here, right? They don't have a monopoly on it. Everybody's sitting down around here. But no, you hope that people whether they do it or not, we are gonna exist. Yeah, we're gonna run. We're gonna be successful. Personally, like the left, like marginalized folks running, like our biggest impediment isn't a hater, who's in office. Our biggest impediment is the money, right? I don't care. You hate all day. You don't gotta love us. You don't gotta. Yeah. Keep your super PACs at at bay, right? That's my ask. If we can't even let's start there. Let's not sick super PACs on people who we don't like. If we can start there, that'll be good. We can move on to how about we not be but we can kill the hypocrisy. You want me to vote? Every single election cycle, everybody's like, did you vote blue? Did you vote for the president? Did you vote for this person? Did you vote for that person? And it's just, obviously, there's no reciprocity. There's not enough reciprocity, but I also know, look, at the end of the day, I represent my people. I bring my people with me. My goal at the end of the day is to get and bring more people. So when we lose big national elections and we're like, oh man, the math did math for us. Yeah. It's like, well, how many people did you not bring in? How many people did y'all say were not good enough for the party when you slow walked, endorsements of one of the most exciting candidates in forever? Yeah. And I think, there's a bunch of different reasons for that, obviously. You do have like big corporate donors that are very scared of the scary word of socialism. But I think a major advocacy group that is embedded within both the Democratic Party and the Republican Party, and I think you know where I'm going with this, is obviously the Israel lobby. Yeah. And you were uncompromising in your values, and you spoke out against Israel's war crimes, against Israel's genocide, and you were one of the few that did not get punished in that same cycle where AIPAC obviously put a lot of historic amounts of money, and AIPAC subsidiaries put historic amounts of money against Cori Bush and Jamal Bowman. Yeah. I do want to start with we're getting deep now. You want to go over to my office? We can do that as well. We can still walk and talk, but let's get deep. But I want to start with what motivated you to run for office, what your background was, but also in terms of that last race, what do you think you did that allowed you to cut through that noise? Yeah, is this something you thought about? No, I think about it all the time. Yeah. We had, obviously they were able to take out my brother and sister, Jamal and Cori Bush. Yeah. I think that they are also people who were exciting. They cared about people. I can say this unequivocally. I have never seen someone go as hard for their people just persistently as Cori Bush. She goes hard. Yeah. When we're talking about people should be excited about politics, that's the type of energy that we should bring. And then the reason why they target people like us is because they're not trying to really just take out us. And they're trying to extinguish that energy. Yeah. People aren't supposed to come to politics and be excited. Yeah. So they want to kill hope. They want to kill that hope, right? That's honestly what it always feels like to me. Even with that's. If it ain't a slogan, they don't want it. Yeah. They only like slogan hope. Or even as far as hope in general, it does always feel like there's this energy, especially emanating here, that politics is supposed to not give you good things. It's not supposed to offer you. The government's not supposed to give you good things. The government is not supposed to do anything for you. The scariest words that any American can hear is I'm from the government and I'm here to help. That mentality is carried on, and I think it's basically calcified here. And that's very damaging for the Democratic Party's interests. No, it is. Because if they were to represent any kind of competency, they would have to do bigger government initiatives. That's structurally what the Democrats are supposed to represent. Yeah. So when they also play this role in undermining any sort of competence, undermining any sort of better things are possible style initiatives, they're cooking themselves in the long run. Yeah, the Democratic Party, we got to get out of our own way. I use our very loosely. I like to think I'm not in my own way. Yeah. But Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's a couple of things, right? The original question, we work hard. I think that we had a little bit of luck. You know, I've always been very fortunate to have people who support me. And it's not like, I don't even just like my districts, obviously, but I mean, like, we have friends. Like, my first election, AIPAC came at us. That was the first election that AIPAC even existed as a PAC.
Yeah.
So like when we were looking to see who was coming after us, we didn't even know what the PAC would be called. Like, you know, we thought it might be DMFI. We saw them the cycle before. It wasn't them, right? It was this they're new at the time, like United Democracy Project.
Yeah.
We had no idea how they were coming at us. You know, we were 27 points up, something like that. They came in like the last 3 weeks, $1 million a week.
Yeah.
$1 million a week. The only reason why I survived then, and the reason why I think we survive now, is because, I mean, obviously you got to move. You got to move right? You kind of got to be perfect.
Yeah.
But we have friends like Justice Democrats. You know, they honestly, for real, they came in. Like Justice Democrats, like they came in from the beginning. When they started to put those millions in, they went and found us a couple of dollars.
Yeah.
You know, we had a couple of our union friends, you know, progressive folks all over the country. They were doing phone banks. Like, we just had like lefties like all over the country doing phone banks for us.
Yeah.
And you used to think that those tactics didn't work. Yeah, when they're spending millions of dollars to say you're a Trump supporter, you know, that you're going to destroy the Democratic Party. That's what they said.
So that's really
Which is
okay.
cool.
So that's exactly what I wanted to talk about. So what a lot of people might not understand is that when AIPAC actually is
They lie.
dumping money into opposing a congressperson, they don't actually do it on the boundaries of Israel, because even AIPAC understands that Israel alone is not very very
They have never mentioned it in any of my races or any race that I've ever seen.
With Jamal Bowman and with Cory Bush, like, they actually never talked about Israel. The real reason why they were dumping that money was because of their position on Israel.
Yeah, it was a position on Israel, but it's also just their position on the status quo.
Yeah.
Right.
But
all the folks who are big donors to AIPAC. Yeah, they have interest, just corporate interests.
Yeah.
Right. It was like the CEO of like Home Depot.
Yeah.
You know,
exactly.
it's different people who are coming at folks who are vocal, who want to tax the rich, who want to hold, you know, the system, whatever the party is, accountable.
Yeah.
That was really the common denominator.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
So
But
they never
what I'm
mentioned
saying is that their angle of attack is never on the boundaries of Israel, but it's never because
I'm not a Democrat. That's what they told me.
Yeah, we're not going after Summer Lee because she's, she's trying to hold powerful corporate interests to account. We're going after Summer Lee because she doesn't cooperate with the Democrats if it's the primary, and I assume if it's in the general, there's like different lines of attack that they change up, right? Like, it's usually
no, they did the same attacks.
Oh, they're just so. What were,
I guess a little tiny bit. A little
what were
tiny
the
bit different.
What were the common threads there? Like, what were the lines of attack?
Honestly, genuinely, it was nothing but like, she's not a good enough Democrat.
Yeah.
They just changed the message on every medium. So on TV, wall-to-wall coverage. You know, just like ads is like Summer wants to destroy the Democratic Party. Just wall-to-wall coverage. You wake up, and you.
Honestly, at this rate,
we're gonna go that
currently,
way. We're gonna go in that door. I would never go in that door because it's easier to get into this one. It was like every day. You go outside, you can check your mail. One day there were 4 mailers in people's mailboxes. Each of them had me with like Marjorie Taylor Greene, Donald Trump, right, trying to paint this picture that, you know, I'm not a good enough Dem. They pull, you know, out of context tweets.
Yeah.
You know, they did stuff like that.
Oh, classic, yeah.
But it was like all fear-mongering, right? Just like they're radical, they don't know enough, like they're not us, right?
Yeah.
It's the us versus them thing that they do anyways. So that was the message that they sent. And then they went, they didn't beat me, right? But they lowered that lead.
Yeah.
We went from 25 points up to winning by like 900 votes.
But it's so, like, that is so undemocratic. Like, I know this is a point that gets stressed quite a bit in terms of like any kind of corporate lobbying and any sort of like super PAC, but it quite literally is antagonistic to democracy. You do the right thing. Like, on paper, you go out, you speak to your constituents, and you say, here's what I've done, here's why you should vote for me again, here's how I'm going to fight for your values and fight for the things that you care about. And then
they can lie.
This faucet of unlimited capital can just come in and just disparage you and make things much more difficult.
just come up and cry because they were just like that heavy-handed.
That's crazy. Wait, hold. Let's see if we dropped off or not. Classic elevator F. Okay. Oh, thank you.
Real quick, we're in our office building. This is best hallway. Let's go to my office.
Okay. Oh, we got woke flags, ladies and gentlemen. We're in the heart. These are the offices of representatives. But what are they representing? They're representing woke.
Well, wait till you catch this flag of my favorite neighbor.
Who is there?
Can you tell who my favorite neighbor is?
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, of course. Of course. Congressional Mama's Caucus. You are our ancestors' greatest dream. Oh my God, this is so nice. That's crazy. Wait, you guys, it seems, get a lot more positive feedback from your constituents. It seems like.
I feel like, honestly, they used to post stuff. I used to get a lot of. I used to get a couple pro-genocide posts every now and then. Hey, friend.
Hi.
Come on in. This is my office. I live in the blandest office in the Capitol. Don't judge it.
What do you mean? This is sick. I haven't seen any other office, so for me, it's sick.
Yeah, that's why. That's why, because you haven't seen anybody else. Everybody else usually has like their artwork. Like, real art. People have real. I don't have any art.
You have some art?
My team is all proud. They're like, you have art. You have one picture.
All right, chat, get to it.
I got one picture, y'all.
Get to it. We need to send her some art. That's crazy.
So listen, the only piece of art that I have, funny enough, is from Rashida. It's because all the other, squad members.
She was like, I have too much.
No, they all came to my office and they were like, why does it look like a funeral in here?
Can I put my jacket up there?
Yeah, please. Get comfy.
All right.
So she's the only, they were all like, we're going to give you something. And she's the only one who actually did, so.
Oh, so all the other
come with me, come on.
Congressional Progressive Caucus members didn't get you
They
stuff?
haven't given me their art yet.
What's that about, Greg? Get on it.
Actually, Greg gave me a mug.
Okay, never mind. Greg gave you something.
Greg gave me a mug. I don't know. I'm waiting for Ilhan to give me some. Ilhan has a nice office.
You don't know Omar has a nice office?
She has a beautiful office. She got a balcony. She has nice things.
Oh, so there is like a
every office is
seniority
different. Like, no, yes, very.
Oh, so that's a big
It's
part
a Hunger
of...
Games trying to pick an office.
Oh, see, this is the type of stuff that like yeah, I think about like the Senate parliamentarian and things of that nature, but like this kind of additional back and forth, I never have considered.
You literally pick a number out of a box.
Uh-huh.
So like orientation,
Can
everybody
you guys
comes.
like transfer for goodies?
You can.
Could you be like, I want your office, but I'll give you something in return?
That feels I don't think so.
No, they don't do that?
I don't think we can do
Not
that.
like
People
not
are
on
shaking
bills.
their head.
I just mean
people
like...
are shaking their head no.
No, okay, my bad.
People are shaking their head. You get your office and you're stuck with it.
Yeah,
you're stuck with it for the Congress.
Okay. Whoa. I thought it was
Thanks,
happening.
G.
I thought it was like, yes, we're in it this time.
Like I said, this is like he's trying to get put out.
No, I play too much, and that does end up getting me in trouble sometimes.
No.
Yeah, they've been.
You can't be.
They're still hitting the whole like 9/11 stuff on Fox News. Sean Hannity was talking about it last night. He's like, Hassan Piker, Mahmoud Khalil, and Jamal Bowman were all there celebrating Zoran's victory. These guys are so scary.
Yeah, you were just about good brother.
Yeah, they just don't want to see any expression of joy, I think.
No.
But they're kind of not used to that from the Democrats in general. Like the real grassroots momentum and like a real people-backed candidacy.
I'm a serious human being without doing serious things.
Yeah.
And when I'm not, I have a whole bunch of joy. Like, first of all, of all the people who try to stop us from helping people, when we actually win, we should be happy. We should be excited.
Yeah.
I think we did exciting things. I think we did exciting things this week.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been longer than a week, but I think that we have things to be excited about. And your haters are always going to. I couldn't care less.
Oh no,
I couldn't care less what the
same
Fox
way.
News say. I couldn't care less.
As long as you have your people covered, as long as you are doing your very best, it doesn't matter.
They want us to be
background
hopeless
noise.
because that's what authoritarianism needs.
Yes, absolutely.
So they want you to feel like, oh, you can't beat us.
So let's start in the beginning.
All right.
what got you invested in politics? Like, how did your journey start?
I went to my first day. I went to law school. It was orientation. I was like, I am never gonna be a lawyer. But I was already there. I already paid, so I was like, I'm gonna stay.
Might as well go through it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go through. I'm gonna finish. I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to do it because it was like, you know, you can like litigate one case at a time. It's just like a brother brought in some trumped up charge, and you do that one at a time. But like, who's thinking about the system? I never thought that.
That's crazy.
He would tell you this all the time, right?
You were like, I'm going to the top. I'm cutting.
No,
I'm just skipping steps.
There's no such thing. Have you met some of my colleagues?
Oh no! I didn't mean it like
No,
that.
that's what I mean. Even the joke about it. Like,
Yeah.
there are people up in here, you think you skipped a step?
Yeah. Oh no.
Somebody was like, you have imposter syndrome. I was like, no, I know my colleagues.
There are people. Yeah, there are people here that should be. I don't even know how they get up the steps in general,
Wow.
both literally and figuratively.
That's a different story. But no, so I was just like, wait, I'm like, okay, so all of these like inequality, like it's cyclical,
Yeah.
right? You grow up in a poor neighborhood, you are disadvantaged at every turn. Like I come from the Mon Valley. It's so funny. I don't think people realize this, but I'm from Braddock, right? I'm from Braddock,
Yeah.
PA, right? Which is where, you know, hey, that's y'all thing.
Go on.
I'm actually from Braddock. Like my family's actually from Braddock, right?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
where my people are from. So, you know, we grew up still mills, all those things. We got some of the worst air quality in the nation.
Mm-hmm.
Industry collapses, towns abandoned.
What about your family's background? Were they working in the steel mills?
I had a whole bunch of family working in the steel mills.
And that was like there was unions back then.
You know what's interesting about that? Yes. Pittsburgh has always been a union town.
Yeah.
We don't just say that for fun. Pittsburgh has always been a union town, and this is the thing that I think gets me in trouble. When we used to, in the early days, just on like this environmental racism stuff, like working on this environmental racism stuff, like reminding people like we have the worst air quality. You know, we worked in these steel mills, and like the mill was not sustaining the community the way the community is sustaining the mill. People were upset when we talked about that, but like I had a license in ways of other people. Yeah, I had family members who worked in the mill, and they were not in the unions because black folks couldn't join the unions until I believe, like, don't quote me, don't be mad at me if I'm completely wrong, but black folk couldn't join those unions until like the 70s.
Yeah.
So like the last generation of my family, you know, who was in the mill, my granddad was in the mills. He actually left the mills and somehow became a teacher.
Oh wow.
So I think he might have been. I don't think he was I don't know if he was able to be in USW, who I rock with hard. Like I rock with my labor brothers and sisters, but he wasn't the teachers.
Yeah.
So since then, you know, the whole thing was like, we want better for you. We want you to be in safer jobs. Like we want you it ain't got to be about getting out, but we want the community to be good for us. You shouldn't have to leave your own community. You know, you shouldn't have to get out, right? Like all the things, you go to any other community, we want the same things everybody else want, right?
No, absolutely.
Like I don't want to be gentrified to get a coffee shop.
Yeah.
You know, I would like us to be able to have a grocery store in our community. I'm living in that type of community, right? We don't got a grocery store, you know, poor air quality. You used to go down my street, like you used to go down Braddock Avenue, and you can smell. So for us, you know, rotten eggs.
Yeah.
So it would smell like rotten eggs. It was like the sulfur trucks.
Yeah.
So like that's what I grew up around. So I wasn't an expert in like environmental justice or anything, but like I lived it. So when I first started to run, honestly, it was actually just like trying to get other people to feel like they can actually do something. Like the system shouldn't be sending us people. We should be sending the system people.
Yeah.
So I was organizing, you know, like trying school board, local stuff. Like people don't, everybody's always
What was the issue that you find yourself organizing around initially?
Then?
Yeah, back then.
So my high school has gone viral for a number of things.
Okay.
This particular thing, this 1 year, my school went viral, I think 3 separate times for like police officers and like the principal allegedly like beating kids up on camera.
That's insane.
It was on camera.
But it does happen a lot. So school resource officers?
Yeah, but one of the problems, school resource officer, but like the principal was kind of like involved.
That's
like
crazy.
in a number of the videos,
He was throwing hands.
A kid had his tooth knocked out of his throat.
By the principal?
Out of his,
So
allegedly.
Okay. I grew
Allegedly,
up in Turkey. Like I experienced corporal punishment quite a bit in Turkish schooling.
This was not corporal punishment.
This is like that, but that's beyond that. Like they would do, you know, ear pulling, steel. They would get like a steel ruler.
You can still get paddled in the United States.
Oh really?
Yeah, like
They just
I
have
feel
that.
like maybe like 15 states or something.
They just have that as a carve out. They're like, we can't let go of this. This
Yeah.
is so good.
It still exists.
It's such a good educational tool.
People don't even know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. Sometimes kids have bad vibes. You know what I mean? I'm kidding.
Not the kids are low vibrational.
I'm kidding.
I believe the kids
can
are the future.
Do you guys have a
Charger?
iPhone charger, if possible?
You got a new
Can I
iPhone
just-
or the old iPhone?
I have the new one, the
You're right there.
USB-C one.
Yep.
If it's
Right below
possible.
you.
Oh, you have it right here. Oh,
That's my seat.
damn. Okay. Oh, this is where you normally.
If I do anything, I'm gonna stay charged.
Yeah, you're just kicking it over here. Mm-hmm. You have a Black Panthers jersey.
Yeah, I got that from like the Black Panther Museum.
Oh wow.
Like Huey P. Newton's wife gave it to me. Well, she didn't
that's
give it to me
sick.
because I follow ethics.
Yeah. Of course.
I
That's so.
I love that thing.
That's such a crazy. That's also kind of a crazy rule for people that don't know. Do you want to explain what that is?
Yeah,
you're
we
not
can't
supposed
accept
to,
gifts.
You can't accept gifts as a.
We don't accept gifts.
Yeah.
People don't give us things. They don't give me things.
Unless it's a super PAC, in which case you can do whatever the fuck you want. You can go to like.
Even that's a loophole.
Yeah.
Even that's a loophole. This is why we want to abolish super PACs.
Yes.
Peep the sign. We're trying to abolish super PACs. We want everybody to get on board. I can't proselytize right now. They told me, but yeah, no. This is. I think this is one of the biggest issues that we have. Obviously, not just from my own race, from all the races. The people shouldn't be able to just like buy their way into the literal Oval Office like Elon Musk did. Like just.
Yeah. I mean, they're just that's cutting out the middleman in some ways too. They've gotten more confident in their
Very much
brazen
so.
corruption
Because they've been
especially in this
stress testing the system for, I'm gonna say decades.
Yeah.
But this group specifically, since like 2016, everything they do, every like toe they like step over is trying to figure out will people let us do it.
Yeah.
Will people let us do it? That's why I always say like Donald Trump doesn't necessarily get to decide if we have a dictator.
Yeah.
He don't get to decide. Like it's not like the Congress doesn't get to decide if we have a dictator. Like you do.
Yeah.
So like when they step over line, it's like they're flexing on the American people.
Yeah. No, they're dabbing on us
Every time.
every day.
And every time they get to do it once, and they're like, "Oh, that worked."
Yeah.
You know what they do? They go and say, "All right, we moved the line."
Yeah.
We moved the line. So that's what this whole thing has been. Like I've always said, it was you talk about all day. It's an ongoing insurrection. The insurrection has been ongoing. They have been plotting. They've been planning. They've told us. So even like I get it. A lot of people are like, "I don't really rock with the Dems."
With
or
the Project
Rs.
2025 stuff, especially, like they
It was
just
real.
they plot it out.
They plotted
Like,
it. They wrote
and
it.
and they put it on paper, and they're like, "This is what we're gonna do." And then all it takes is for Trump to be like, "I don't know what that is. I don't know how to read." And then everyone's like, "Oh, okay, he said so it's fine. He won't do it." And then
He said he was going to do it.
yeah,
They said they were going to do it. So, honestly, that's why I ran. All of this is a part of why I ran. Right?
Yeah.
I felt like I could see the trajectory of the country and the Democratic Party. I felt like if I can see inequality and I can see like how it functions at the systems level, if I can see people who aren't apathetic like the party, that was one of the reasons why I really ran. Like they kept saying like these people are apathetic, they don't care. I'm like, that's just not even true. People absolutely care.
Yeah.
Sometimes people are hopeless.
yeah,
Someday they feel discouraged, or like how many people in communities like mine, like they've seen, the president, Democrats and Republican, they've seen the volleyball game happening forever, and their communities haven't changed.
yeah.
Things haven't changed in their life.
Their material conditions are only
They haven't
deteriorating year after year.
Absolutely.
And I think that is a major issue. That's like what I address all the time as far as like the sense of entitlement. It seems that some people hold, Democrats in particular, where they're just like, no, you have to vote for us. We're better than the other guy. And like theoretically is true. In theory, harm reduction is correct, right? Is a correct theory.
I believe
But
so.
it's a terrible way to
It's a
campaign.
bad message.
It's a bad message. It's a terrible way to campaign, and it's been an abject failure over and over again.
I think that's a key point. It's been a failure. I think that multiple things be true. When I used to knock on doors in my really early days, because that's all we did. Like I knocked doors twice a day, every day. So I did a morning shift, I did an afternoon, I did like an evening shift. I'm hitting people for breakfast and dinner. Just talking to voters. And same things all the time. Like, you deserve clean air and water, right?
Yeah.
We live in the wealthiest nation on earth. Your kids should go to a good school. You shouldn't be paying property taxes out the wazoo and your kid still is not getting the education they deserve, right? Just stuff like that every day, every single day. But I talk to a lot of non-voters,
Yeah.
And I think maybe that's what makes me a little bit different. I'm not just saying me personally, me and others like us. That I talk to non-voters as much as I talk to voters. I talk to infrequent voters. I talk to folks who have never been registered in their entire life. I have people in my family, right, who they vote when I say go vote for me. They know me. And sometimes I'm certain they're lying to me. Like sometimes they're like, Summer, yeah, I voted for you. Sure.
Like, okay.
They didn't go.
What
am I do? Right?
Here comes Summer again.
Right.
Asking us to go out and register.
I had to go and like drive a cousin. I was like, girl, I'm a babysitter. I'm gonna drive you to the poll. Like I need this vote. But no, I've talked to these non-voters, and at the end of the day, it is that hopelessness. It's like, well, what's the difference? It doesn't make a difference. And then I talk to your Democratic establishment people, and they're like, well, of course there's a difference. The Supreme Court, right? Roe v. Wade fell because the Senate gets to a point.
Yeah.
That was a real thing that happened, and I think that the disconnect is that. What I think the Democratic establishment does not understand is that, look, there is something about the system that non-voters, marginalized, disenfranchised people, that they understand about the system that these folks don't understand.
Absolutely.
And on the other side, there is something that these Democratic establishment people understand about the system that they're not able to fully grasp and understand too, because they are worried about their basic needs. The key is that it's incumbent on us to go and get folks.
Yeah.
Like we're the ones who are supposed to say, I understand why you're skeptical. I understand how it can be hard for you to prioritize voting when your material conditions are just getting worse.
Yeah, what's really interesting is...
We stopped doing that.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. And it's like, that's the basic principle of democracy, is that voters are supposed to go out and extract concessions or make demands out of their elected representatives in exchange for a vote. And then you sit on this seat of power to make the popular demand known and try to fight for them. And yet, for some weird reason, we are so far removed from that basic principle that even campaigns like Zoran's or campaigns like yours, but Zoran's one's like in New York, so it was very high profile.
It's a big time.
Yeah. But it's like, it wasn't unique at all. Like, in many ways it was unique because the circumstances are so dire. But what I mean by that is, like, it's not actually that unique to go out, ask a bunch of voters and non-voters, like, what is your major issue?
Actually, you mean talk to voters?
Yeah, talk to voters, identify some key problems.
I got big theories on why people don't talk to voters.
What? Oh, in here? Oh, I would
not
love
even
to,
just here, right?
I would love to get into that because that's a major gripe that I have.
Circle back.
But what I'm saying is, like, it's the most basic thing. You go out and you ask people, like, what's your issue? How can I solve it? And then you identify a couple of those issues, and you keep hitting those issues. And of course, lo and behold, all of them revolve around material inequities and financial struggles, affordability, things of that nature. And you just keep hammering out those points, and you win. Even when you have hundreds of millions of dollars in corporate interests and numerous different advocacy groups.
I'm not going to say even. Let's be real. Zoran had some dollars. He had support. He had help. When a lot of people talk about, oh, why'd you win? Why'd he win? Sometimes because it's a good story. We put the emphasis on the grassroots organizing. Yeah. What did he have? 90,000 volunteers? I don't know if that's a real number.
No, he had 50,000.
50,000.
He had 50,000 in the primary and then 104,000 in the general.
That's wild. Let me tell you who ain't getting that many volunteers. Nobody else.
No,
on
absolutely.
God's green earth. Like, not in a district, right? In a non-national campaign.
Well, we're trying to fix that.
Absolutely. But in a non-national campaign, that's wild. So we put the emphasis on that because we should. Because proportionally, that's us saying, like, the reason why we're here is because of you, right? People put us here, people care. We connected, real connection. And so sometimes people are like, well, you don't need all that money. But it's like, at the end of the day, when your ops can get out anything, say anything about you, and you can't counteract it, it does hurt. It hurts. No, because now you need more volunteers to now go, now you got to counteract the lie. Yeah. So, like, the idea that we don't need money, like, I would love, and I can't wait, it exists. As the future already exists, it already exists that we live in a world post big money in politics. We live in a world post authoritarian. It exists already. And as we build to it, right, we do have to recognize that, like, actually our people do need to have dollars so they can compete. It's not an evil thing.
No, absolutely.
We do need to actually run for office. It's not an evil thing. Yeah. We need to wield power. Power is neutral, right? Power is not inherently good or inherently evil. And there are, like, a few people in history who are like, power is to be wielded. I think when you talk about, like, democracy, if I just flip it on its head a little bit, like the fundamental thing about democracy is that it's government by the people.
Yeah.
Which means that our real job is not necessarily like a transactional thing. It's actually to be like the candidate in the perfect world. Candidates don't go to the people first. The people.
They are the people.
They are the people.
Exactly.
The people are like, this is our person. This is who we're sending you.
Yeah.
And because we are a person, like you represent them, you already know you're embedded. Now you stay with your folks. You stay on the ground.
It's not supposed to be a special class, like
It's not a special
politician,
class of people.
job. Yeah, it's supposed to be you're a teacher and then you're representing your community.
You represent your community. You can
Yeah.
be anything. And that changes. Well, what's the qualifications for Congress?
Yeah.
People think that the qualification for Congress is
Nothing.
lawyer, business
no.
owner. No, it's whatever lived experience you
Yeah.
have. You are personal. You have personal expertise on all types of stuff.
Yeah.
You be convinced that we don't have it.
And I think I would go so far as to say, if you're a regular person experiencing financial struggle, trying to make ends meet, trying to pay for rent, you have the necessary qualities that many people in Congress no longer hold, especially after years and years of being a part of this machine. I've talked to a lot of politicians about this kind of stuff behind closed doors and private meetings and things like that and they just want to know how do we message? How do we message to the kids? How do we reach they don't really care as far as like what I try to explain to them, that it's not just about the platforms that you're on. It's about what you're saying, and it's about actually being an earnest
about your
defender.
authenticity.
Yeah.
We don't have a message problem.
Yeah.
I'm not going to, okay, we have a message problem.
We do.
We don't have exclusively a message problem. We have a messenger problem.
Yes,
I've
for
been
sure.
talking to a lot of my colleagues too. I remember we were going back and forth in like a retreat. And, everybody, after the election, they all bring in the polls. It's like the polls say this, the polls say that. Honestly, I mean, the polls always say this. I'm like, I told y'all that. I'm like, I already told y'all that. But like, so we're doing that. And then we're talking about, and they're like, well, what we need to do. I was like, no, we need people. You can say whatever you want to say. You can start cussing online, look cool. You can do all that. If that is you, then do it. But the problem is like, if you ain't never had to struggle to pay the rent, how are you going to relate to somebody who does? And a honest person doesn't have to relate to every single person in their district. You don't.
Yeah.
But again, as the party of working class people, if you can't relate to working class, I had to talk to my colleagues like, there are so many of y'all who generationally have not experienced being of the poor.
Yeah.
I think most of us are working class, right? You don't own anything, you don't trade stocks. You're in a working class. You got to work for your living. You're in a working class. But a lot of people lose those roots. They're not there. That's why they're not talking to non-voters anymore.
Yeah.
That's why you got all these people who are only listening to consultants and hyper like attentive voters, like those voters who are like, I go to caucus, I go to the DNC.
What the abundance call the groups.
Yeah, they're talking to them all the time.
Yeah.
But they're not talking to real people. And then when they go and you go to the barber shop and you ain't been to the barber shop in years, you don't know what them brothers down there are dealing with in their real life. So how are you gonna relate to it? And that's the problem. Right now when we're talking about, man, we got colleagues who, and this is not a shot. We got folks who have been here for longer than I've been alive. Like actually, they've been here longer than I've been alive, which means they've known various iterations of the Democratic Party, various iterations of the Republican Party, and now they have officially known a different iteration of the country itself. The country that they've known, that we've known, it does not exist anymore. We are in an authoritarian regime. And there are too many people who are nostalgic for a time that will never exist again. It cannot exist again.
Whenever they say, I want a strong Republican Party, the way things used to be, I'm like, no, I want no Republican Party.
I fell out of my chair. I'm like,
no, I want.
That's like saying I want a responsible plan. What?
I want no opposition. I want every.
I want a better world.
I want every seat to be filled with people who are going to center the working class in their politics, so that we don't have to have this like gridlock, this back and forth, within the current structure that exists. But
I'm baffled. I remember that.
It's a very silly way to approach it, and I think like a lot of people see that and they think it's inauthentic as well, because they're like, we're Democrats. If we're Democrats, why the fuck do we want?
Remember when the question on the debate, on the 2-hour debate they did, and it was like, how much you pay for rent? The big gotcha, right? Zoran laughs. He goes, what is it, $2,300?
Yeah.
Cuomo goes, he's stealing from a poor person.
Yeah,
but
that was crazy.
The number one thing that shows that he's disconnected, he's stealing from a poor person. I don't know no poor people in my life who can spend $2,300. That's not the point that I'm making right now. He then laughs and goes, I pay $7,800. Right? You can't relate
And I don't even know.
You can't relate to people like that.
I
And
felt
again,
like he owns his house, I think, right? He was just saying like his daughter's rent or something, I feel like.
Or he's saying his mortgage. You still got to pay something. Whatever it is.
Yeah.
Whatever it is at the end of the day. I'm just saying like that people are so disconnected from actual struggle that they don't know it when it's in front of them. Like they don't even know how to deal with it. You know, I get people come to it. I mean, the shutdown. Like it's a real thing. Like I think that the fight for healthcare is righteous. I think it's righteous. I think that an authoritarian regime, I think we gotta stand tall, right? You give them an inch, they'll take them out.
Yeah.
I think the people want us to take the stand. They've been asking them to take the stand. We're doing it. And it also really hurts to see people coming to me, in my real life, who are talking about how hard it is to make ends meet. Yeah. Right? The line at the food bank was already long before the SNAP, cuts. People be struggling. And to have an empathy for that is the key. You don't have to have lived every experience. You really don't.
Yeah.
But like, if you don't have to ever see it, it's like Gaza, right? The biggest movement happened when people had to see the imagery.
Yeah.
We do have to start to question, why do we have so many people here who we have to show pictures to?
Yeah.
Like, why does a starving mom got to come to you for you to be like, damn, I should do something?
Yeah.
Right? Why has it got to be like that? This is the generational divide we are right now. As people are retiring, and the next class of folks are coming in, then this is an opportunity. We can actually get people who are responsive to the real needs of real people, or we can keep putting in messengers who aren't credible, who are going to keep begging consultants for how to say it right.
Yeah, so that's actually, that ties into something I want to talk about as far as like the system, right? One of the things that I hear from very seasoned operatives and people who have been around for a very long time is the notion that like, well, a lot of these guys, they come into Congress and maybe they have like key issues that they care about, but over the years, they basically become complacent, or at least like they themselves also lose whatever edge they might have had, because they just go back and forth and there's so much wheeling and dealing with the way that bills are structured, with the way that bills are passed, that they basically, they hit neutral. And they just kind of exist. And then all they care about is getting reelected, so they go to donors instead of the actual constituents because of what we just talked about.
It's a bypass.
Because big donors can just go in and dump $1 million into a relatively small TV, like a local TV network, and just hit you with attack ads. And genuinely try and tarnish your reputation and make it harder for you to overcome these odds. So a lot of people run from a place of fear. Yeah. How do you push back against that? How do you fight back against that around your colleagues, especially?
I think part of it is acknowledging that it's a very real condition in this place.
Yeah.
I think it doesn't. I think that sometimes when we talk about someone came in with the fire, and then now it's like, what happened to them? There's a lot of people like, what happened to them? I think that we all like have it in our minds that it's a very like big thing. Like they got there and a boogeyman literally walked up to them with a suitcase, a suitcase of money. Like we imagine that it's something like this instead of the fact that it's actually like a small concession every time.
Yeah.
Every time it's a small concession.
It just like chips away.
First of all, this place is a soul crusher. It is a soul crusher. So the first thing, even if you're somebody who's running, like again, we got to focus on the future, not the past. And we can still address the past. But like, to flip the question, like if I had to like say for somebody who's like, I want to start building the government that reflects us and our dreams. The first thing you need to understand is that this place is a soul crusher by nature. It doesn't matter if you want it to be or not. It doesn't matter how strong you are. You got to have a North Star here. We all know. How many people come here because, they want to be famous? It's a very real reason to run. I'm not coming from nobody.
That's crazy.
People who, no, there are many reasons that people come. You can come because you want to be famous.
Hollywood
Fine.
for ugly people. That's what Andrew Breitbart used to say.
Everybody in Hollywood ain't that great looking either. But men get to be whatever they want in Hollywood. No. So you can come for that. You can come because you're like, oh, look, I got an idea. I have a perspective. I want my perspective to be. You can come for that. You can come, whatever reason you come, you need to have a North Star. Like, what is the reason that when this shit gets hard, like when it's the worst? What is the thing that's going to get you up in the next day? And if you have to have that center, because again, it's everything. It's not always going to be the first thing. The first thing is going to be like, hey, can you look? Just take this vote, right?
Yeah.
This vote is not even that bad. It is going to protect you. I remember when I first got in the State House, we ran over 2 years. Remember, I first got in the State House, we're doing first day in judiciary, we're doing a big bill. Like constitutional amendment. It's been like traveling across the country, state by state by state. And every time someone votes no on it, they like run multi-million-dollar ads on these people. So the first thing that somebody told me, they were like, "Yo, Summer, what about the ad?" Like they weren't being disingenuous to me. They weren't trying to scare me. They were telling me the reality. Like, what about the ad? It's the reality that we have to think about those things.
Yeah.
Now you choose how you react to that. You know the ad can come. You know the ad might exist. Is it more important that you specifically make it, or is it more important that the legacy exists of being bold, of being of representing this interest? That's where people are, that's where they get you. Because it's easy, you want to be comfortable. I have vowed to not necessarily be comfortable here. Because the moment you kind of get comfortable, you got to give up on something. You got to give up something. You got to give up something to be comfortable here.
Yeah,
and I
no,
get why people
absolutely.
want to be comfortable. I
Yeah.
think it's wrong, but I get it.
Yeah, and then that slowly but surely chips away, and then it's already so difficult to make changes in the positive direction that people just kind of give up.
And then they see the woman in
But
Dylan.
that favors the right flank.
Every time.
Every time. It's much easier to destroy. It's much more difficult to build.
build.
And the left flank party in this country is supposed to, in every country really, is supposed to be the party that is building towards, expanding social safety nets, building housing, building better public transit, these sorts of things. And I do feel like Democrats have a real messaging problem on that front, because they constantly find themselves in a position where they're telling people, "No, you don't understand how this works, sweetie. Better things are not possible." Meanwhile, on the other side,
That's a real message.
yeah, I mean that's the
real message.
That is like Hillary Clinton famously in 2016 against Bernie Sanders said that Medicare for all was like demanding a unicorn. You know, like, oh, what's next? We're going to give people, I could just run around saying I'm going to offer people unicorns. And it's like, that's insane to just be that cynical is crazy.
It's also a very low opinion of the electorate. Just because we're in the opinion that like we're somewhere now, we'll never be able to make it out of that.
Yeah. And I think the sinister reason as to why she's saying that, and many congresspersons also have a similar attitude, especially on this issue, is because it is such a massive, such an expensive industry that has a lot of corporate donors, that is constantly in these rooms, maybe not this one, obviously, but in these sorts of rooms. And they are able to say, do not take a stand on this issue that would actually harm our profit centers, our profit margins, or even abolish it in its entirety.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're definitely slaves to money in politics.
Yeah.
We're slaves to it. All over the country, you ask about, kids getting mowed down by assault rifles.
Yeah.
All over the country, people say, no, we do not think that should happen. And yet, you still get politicians who cannot move on that. Why is that?
So what you're suggesting is door control. we got to get better locks on the doors, right? That's what we moved on.
No,
to
I think the first thing that the Democratic Party got to do is we got to decide who we want to be.
Yeah.
So we're talking about all of this. And I think fundamentally, before we move anywhere else, we got to decide who we want to be.
So that's actually exactly what I want to ask you. What do you think, if you were to go with like 5 key positions that you stand for, what would those top 5 priorities be? I know I'm putting you on the spot here, but let's say you're running, right? Like, what are the 5 key things that you're going to hit?
I think I put things in the buckets. There are always justice-minded buckets, right? Affordability is clear, right? People can't afford things. But within affordability, housing. I believe that everybody should have a home in the community that they call home that they can afford. And I believe that they should be appropriate, right? There shouldn't be slums, like we're in the wealthiest nation on earth.
Yeah.
It should be healthcare. Nobody should go into medical debt. People should not die of curable diseases, right? Everybody should have health care in this country. It's education. Everybody has a right to a quality education, irrespective of your zip code.
Yeah.
I think it's environmental justice, that you should be able to breathe clean air and clean water. It's free. It's a freedom from your civil liberties being eroded.
Yeah.
So whether that be, prison reform, systemic reform for criminal legal reform, ICE, all of those things. We need a serious change in the way that we think about how we are, dealing with our citizens, with people. So I think like y'all don't quote me. Like I'm not saying that that's my exact file. I was put on the spot, but those are the things that I think about every day.
Yeah.
Like people should be able to navigate our society without going broke every single day. Their government should not be oppressing them.
Yeah. Do you feel like people are especially in this day and age, like, do you feel like the average person kind of just sees everything that's going on, but they're like, what can I do about it? And they just like go about their daily lives rather than be like more active and more, instead of being reactive, more proactive in general?
Yes.
How do we get people to mobilize at a time like this when they're too busy trying to make ends meet?
I think that takes a flipping of the head. I think that is a product of the system itself. Mm-hmm. Is a very like top-down system.
Yeah,
like
it's what we talked about. People have lost hope.
Yeah,
like we've killed
or some
hope.
people never had it in the first place.
Yeah,
right. Because the system is like we are cogs, and the wheel keeps on turning. I think people. It's that focus on what is a real democracy. When people say, "Oh, what are Democrats going to do? What are you going to do? What are you going to do?" Early days after January 20th, that's what we heard a lot of, right? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? But it started to shift, and people started to say, "What can I do?"
Yeah, but that was also partially because like the Democrats kind of didn't say anything. They were like,
they didn't say anything. But when you think about it logically, I say this all the time. I'm going to use the same line all the time. You tell me, I want to put a check on Donald Trump's power.
Yeah.
I introduce a bill. Which of those bills are going to be brought to the House floor by a Mike Johnson or Kevin McCarthy or whoever they put in that day? Which one is he going to bring up that's going to get a vote, that's going to get to 218 of his members? And that's going to then go over to the Senate. That's then Thune is going to bring up to the House floor or to the Senate floor. That's going to get, a majority plus, because it's the Senate, filibuster-proof majority, that they're going to then vote on. That's then going to go to Donald Trump, and he's going to sign.
Yeah.
This is the lesson that we needed to learn before the authoritarian regime. That at the end of the day, it is still the final fail-safe in a democracy. It is the people, which is why this is where I think one of the biggest failures of the Democratic Party falls. Right? We are so arrogant too often, and like this idea that we did it the right way. This is the only way to do it. Voting is the only way to do it. Running is the only way to do it, and everything else is a problem. Right?
Yeah.
Black Lives Matter, the anti-genocide encampments and movement, all of those things have been met with shame by people in leadership. And that's not just this generation, that's generation after generation after generation. Yeah. The anti-apartheid movement, right, in the 80s and the 90s, met with shame, right? The sit-ins, Dr. King died unpopular.
Yeah.
Right? And every generation forgets the lesson. And the Democratic Party does it too. Right? So we're like, there's a right way to protest. There's a right way to do that. Well, now, guess what? We don't have any lever of government.
Yeah.
So I think what real leadership is looking like right now, that the people we're really wanting is like, okay, so what can we all collectively do? Because people have for too long been like, my job is to vote and y'all do this.
Yeah.
But that's not how democracy is supposed to work. You're not supposed to vote and just go.
No, they have to be more active. Like politicians have to also, like.
We have to encourage your activity.
Congressional representatives should not only encourage it, but they should also be out there on the streets. And that is actually a real demand that a lot of voters are making as well. But what you actually talked about with respect to BLM and also Gaza is so is so perfectly representative of the nihilism that people experience. Because I'm 34 years old. People around my age and younger, during the COVID lockdowns and in the aftermath of George Floyd, took to the streets and they protested.
I was there.
They wanted to, we wanted to let our voices be heard, and we wanted some serious changes to take place. And of course, that wasn't going to come under the Trump administration. So then, what did people do? They voted for Joe Biden. A lot of people said, I don't really want this. He's old. He's not very inspirational, but it doesn't matter. We're still going to go vote because we want to get this guy out of office. So they did their civic duty.
They did.
And they got nothing in exchange for that. So the lesson there was,
there's nothing you can do.
You do everything you want. You can do everything. You can protest. You can go out and vote. And at the end of the day, nothing will change.
That's not everything.
We will not hear your demands.
That's not everything. I think that's the lesson right now,
well,
right? But I'm saying because I'm saying that in a positive way.
Yeah, I know, but I mean like everything within the confines of like what you learn in liberal democracy. The liberal education is like you protest and you do your civic
That's
duty.
still not true, though.
And
That's still actually not true.
what would you say is like not being pulled as far as levers of power?
Your money and your labor. Your money and your labor are the real things that you're supposed to be able to do something with. Like, you can go out and you can take to the streets, but that's supposed to be coupled with something.
Yeah.
Right? If I'm gonna take to the streets and I'm like, I don't think that Trump should be in power. You can't get Trump because he's already the president. What you have to do is you don't have to target everything around it. So like, why are we giving our money to this, that, and the fourth oligarch? That actually takes sacrifice. The reason why we are where we are is because we've had a country that has afforded us a comfort level that has not made us have to, like really do things that other countries have. We have examples around the world of people who have had to exercise discipline, sacrifice, and real true solidarity. We still don't know what solidarity looks like. Like, our labor movement is fighting each other, right? We got the building trades fighting the service industry unions, fighting the federal unions, right? Within movement, we got black working class folks, who feel like they're not heard by white working class folks, right? We actually don't know what solidarity in practice looks like. There are many things that we need to be working on right now that has nothing to do, or not, I'm gonna say nothing, but very little to do with what your government is doing.
Yeah.
I always say you come correct too, but we all have a role to play here. So when I think about real sacrifice right now against an authoritarian regime, I want to hear black folk, for instance, were like, they're going to cut DEI from Target. We're not going to go to Target anymore. And you know what we have to hear every day? Boycotting doesn't work.
Yeah.
What does it matter? It doesn't matter because I'm one person. The rugged individualism has neutered us.
Yeah.
It has made us forget where our real power is. It's we the people, not I the person.
Yeah.
Right?
Boycotts do have to be targeted and directional and very issue specific and strategic. And BDS for Palestine has been fairly effective in this regard. Obviously, there's a long way to go there.
And it comes with other things. It comes with your messaging.
Yeah.
It comes with building the narrative. It comes with putting pressure on your elected officials.
Yeah.
Then you see them as tools. Each thing is one tool. It's not the only one.
But you're absolutely right. Obviously, labor militancy has been completely destroyed in this country. Labor unions are somewhat corporate captured, or barely even exercise their biggest leverage of power, which is work stoppages, when it comes to even contract renegotiations usually. And sometimes it's literally illegal to
because
do
it feels like a nuclear, sometimes it's illegal.
Yeah.
Sometimes it feels like a nuclear option.
Yeah.
Right? Sometimes it's like, am I going to step out on a limb and is anybody going to catch me? In Pittsburgh, we actually have the longest strike in the nation right now. We have the longest running strike. They're at 3 years, our Post-Gazette workers. And for 3 years, they've been on the picket line. And one after another, folks they do what they do. But also, politicians started to real quietly start to talk, to the newspaper. They started to real quietly, some of them might not be as explicit. I've seen many Democrats cross the picket line there. One Democrat crossed a state line and then a picket line to talk mess on me in the Scab newspaper, right?
That's
so like
crazy.
when we think about the discipline there, so they've been doing this for 3 years. How do you think they feel? Like, they feel like, where's the rest of the labor? And it's like the rest of the labor also is like, no, we didn't mean to like abandon you. And some of them aren't actually, we're not even actively abandoning you. It's just that people are trying to figure out how do they exert power and where are the appropriate places to exert power. And we all have to collectively do better at that.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right.
So they're like, if I do this workshop, is anybody gonna come with me?
Yeah.
We gotta talk about how do we get to a society where people are not sure if someone's gonna come with them.
Yeah, I mean it's rugged individualism. It's the worst poison for solidarity, and unfortunately Americans do have that very selfish tendency, or it's not even like it's selfish in the short term, but it's actually silly in the long term. It's like it's self-defeating in the long term because you're not going to have anyone else that comes for you if you don't show up for them. And I mean, I try to.
Part of that is understanding each other.
Yeah.
Sometimes we skip that. It's actually uncomfortable to talk across like communities. It's like, oh, this community has an experience with my community. We have a history. We'll never address it.
Yeah.
Because that makes us a little bit uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And I think that that's the same with labor. I think that's the same with politics.
Yeah.
This is a time that's calling for that. It's calling for introspection from all of us. We can all point our fingers right now. After November, whatever that date was, all of us could have learned a lesson.
Yeah.
The left, the middle, we all had a lesson. It's easier though to say, did you learn your lesson? So that's what the establishment does. They're like, the left didn't learn. What did they get out of it?
Yeah, there's a lot of talking over one another in these sorts of situations, but I do think there's a sinister reason for it. Like, it's not like when I see Democratic politicians run to CNN in the aftermath of this like very expected defeat, right? Because this was being signaled. I mean, if I can see it, and I'm a random idiot on Twitch, then I think like much more intelligent people can probably comprehend it, especially when they're a part of the machine, and yet for some reason they're the most oblivious. But they immediately after Trump's second victory, they ran to CNN to be like, oh, why did we lose? Because we were too pro-trans or too pro-this or too pro-social justice.
I also think that's a psyop.
Yeah, I could not.
I think that this is
believe it.
psyop. I think that some of them were going there as plants.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it because I'm like, did we see the same campaign? Like, Commoners didn't say anything.
No, they don't want, those are the type of people who didn't want us to be able to do like the deep actual analyses.
Yeah.
They were very intentional.
They immediately, they threw that grenade on there so that everybody talks about that.
Yep.
And
instead of being like, oh man, maybe the campaign shouldn't have like kicked Muslims out of events.
Yeah.
Maybe when we're talking about like the black community, we should say that it's not just middle class black folks. We actually have to go and fight for poor, working class, disenfranchised black folks.
Or even the moment where it was like, well, there's an over reliance, I think, on black turnout in general, and I think like.
But it's also a superficial one.
Yes, and I think that's so. Oof, I have so many opinions on that, but I think it's like. It's getting to a point where I've asked this to some other folks as well. I want to hear your perspective on this. Do you feel like younger generations of black men especially are not like actually leaving the Democratic Party in droves in the way that like people present it, because that's also very weird and racist when Barack Obama comes out and it's like, oh, well, I guess you guys are a little misogynistic. Like I thought that was like crazy to say because at the end of the day,
I think people have a right to be wrong.
Well,
I think that was wrong, right?
Yeah,
that brother had a right to be wrong.
Black people still overwhelmingly like. It's crazy to me when we're looking at like black people and how much they deviate away from the Democratic Party when the margins of deviation are so minuscule in comparison to like the Hispanic voting bloc or the white voting bloc in general, which is always swinging in the direction
I think
of Trump.
that fundamentally a lot of people don't understand the black community.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Which means that even a small deviation, they're like, yo, oh my God. Because what people do fundamentally understand is that black folks, at large, we're not talking about individuals.
Yeah.
As a community, you're not going to see us flocking to Republicans because
Yeah.
Republicans are more inclined to like burn a cross in our yard,
Yeah.
right? Like I remember I served with a colleague in the state house, and this person was like retiring. I'm like clapping politely. So I'm like,
Yeah.
don't clap for him. He would burn a cross on your yard. A white person said this to me. I was stunned. I was like, damn, I've never been the same. So now I look around and I don't clap for people anymore because I'm not sure if I'm clapping for like my bebop. But like things like that. People don't give black people the benefit of being politically whole people.
Yeah.
That yes, the reason why we won't go there is because racism is a real red line. And I don't mean like, I ain't saying that liberals can't be racist. I'm saying that there are different types of racism.
Yeah.
There is the, I don't believe that you should not be in chains type of racism.
Yeah.
And then there's, and then there's all these other biases, that part. But when you really get down to it, yes, black people are reliable, we vote, we've been burned.
Yeah.
We're a community that has been burned politically. We're a community that has been both neglected and over-relied on in many ways. And sometimes, we are more likely to say in politics, like if I can think about the long term, like if for me, like I was like, if Trump is elected, this is going to be a dictatorship.
Yeah.
Like I recognize that my people will be better off without him. And we have not had the privilege of not being able to make that decision.
Yeah.
But then I think that some people don't understand that, there are actually black folks who feel like they're not, I think that of swing voters, right?
Yeah.
A swing voter who is not a swing from Democrat to Republican, but a swing from Democrat to no vote.
Exactly. So that's what I wanted to talk about.
And we don't get the resources that swing voters get.
Yeah. I think what's really interesting, or at least what I've tried to identify about this issue, is that like I feel like there's less participation in younger generations in general. And I think even with like the most reliable demographic of voters being black women for the Democratic Party, the reason why there is like this generational gap almost in terms of like non-participation is because that's the last time that I think black people can see the Democrats like actually put their flag and have stakes in the game to do something for black people is like the civil rights movement. And I think since then, like the further you move away from that, the less I think like younger.
No, I think it's more that we are doing something for the country
Yeah.
than the country doing something for us.
Yeah.
And I think that that's one of the pain points for young folks. I think the Democratic Party, we abandoned them.
Yeah.
We've abandoned young people.
Yes.
I'm gonna just say, we have abandoned young people.
Yeah.
We left them vulnerable. I can't tell you, like the first time I ran, and I'm running against a 20-year incumbent in the State House, and we're looking at like, okay, well, how do people cut turf? Like, who do you knock doors? Like, how do you decide what doors
Yeah.
you knock? How do you decide who you send a mailer to, right? Those are all real big
Yeah.
considerations that a terrible
You
consultant.
have a finite amount of time. You have limited
find out
resources.
about the money,
Yeah.
and you're spending all your money on a trash consultant who
Yeah.
is really just thinking about their own paycheck. They're not even giving you
Yeah.
good information. We didn't go that way. We were like, okay, well, I'm black. The last time that black voters came out en masse was for Barack Obama.
Mm-hmm.
So when we're cutting the universe, instead of being like, Democrats love the term super voter, right? Our universe is always of super voters, right? So I'm going to give a mailer to the people who have voted in 4 primaries in a row. I'm going to, those are the only people who are going to be targeted for digital ads. Those are the only people who are going to be targeted for door knocks, if they even door knock, leaving people. So then we blame the people who we didn't even go and ask to vote for us for not voting. We do that with young people. So when we ran the first time, we put on anybody who was a new voter who was 18, because I was younger then, right? We put young people in our
What do you mean? You're
universe.
still young.
For this, please. we put all the young folks. If you're 18, 24, you're on the list automatically. We put black folks who voted. If you voted for Barack Obama, you're on the list. And just by doing that, by knocking on those doors, talking to young people, talking to non-voters, I talked to people who had not voted in a primary in forever. But I didn't blame like, why didn't you vote in your primaries?
Yeah.
Why would you? My 20-year incumbent didn't even have an opponent. For 8 of those years, for like the last 8 years. So what does it matter if they vote? I didn't go in there with those preconceived notions, but we knocked. We double turnout. I think that sometimes there are people, Democrats got 3 masters. You know how sometimes I said you can't serve 2 masters?
Yeah.
We're trying to serve 3 masters at once, right? Are we going to be the party of corporations? And are we going to be the party of democracy? Or are we going to be the party of incumbency?
Yeah.
You can't do both. And the enemy of incumbency sometimes is an educated electorate. The more people you talk to, the more likely they are to be like, shit, I don't like that. So now they've grown a fear of talking to people. So now we got all these young people who we were like, oh, they're flaky. You know how hard it is to get an on-campus organizing done? Like we're like, hey, can we get some money to talk to our college kids? And they're like, that's not a reliable source. They don't vote. So we're just gonna leave it.
This is the inside baseball I wanted to hear, because this is like I see it. I mean, I go to campuses, and these are some of the most like primed, like potential voters.
Yeah, but it also takes a little bit of expertise. You gotta know how to talk to people.
Yeah,
you can't be the person who's just like, vote no matter how.
Yeah.
And then when they say, nah, I ain't voting, now you snapping on them. No, you actually gotta have, it's a surgery.
Exactly.
Right, it's surgery.
And that is it's just like met with
Disdain.
revulsion and disdain. People are like, why the fuck would I do that? This is crazy. Especially after if they had participated and voted and then they didn't see anything in return
And
for that.
then the those volunteers, their mind are blown, and they're like,
Yeah.
oh my God, why don't you see the system the way I do? Comfortable, liberal, wealthy person. Because if you got time to volunteer, you probably got a couple dollars, right? You live in a whole different existence, and you don't understand why this disenfranchised young person maybe doesn't see the system the way you do. So if you are not ready to take the time to actually explore their interests, explore their perspectives and worldviews, and then help them to connect the dots, then you're not the best person to go out. And I don't mean that just on those young people's doors or on that campus. You also shouldn't be out on our super voter doors, because we're trying to make believers of everybody. We're trying to make everybody get on the same program. It's like, you know how people are like, poor, kids of color deserve teachers of color. I'm like, white people deserve teachers of color. We should all have, a cool diverse experience. Whatever. I don't think that they should be on any doors. People need to be trained better. But to get them to go there. So now we're talking about, why is Turning Point? Why are these kids getting red pilled?
Yeah.
Well, you left them in the internet with no direction, no instruction, and they're finding out a different world by themselves, because the internet is a world, and they're navigating that world by themselves. Well, you know who went into that world? The right wing.
Yeah. And they also have a shit ton of money back in it too.
Big money.
Because that's the other side of the story.
Because they invested though. Call it an investment.
Yeah.
We got money on the Democratic side.
Yeah. I don't know what they're spending it on, to be honest. I feel
It's
like
not down ballot.
Yeah.
It wasn't historically judges.
Yeah, it's just that you're absolutely right. There is this like media infrastructure that they've designed. They also pluck talent. Like Charlie Kirk himself, he became a nationally relevant figure because he wrote an essay in high school for his like high school newspaper about some hypothetical black woman that took his slot at West Point, which is bullshit. It wasn't even, he just made it up, right? But they were like, that's exactly the kind of young racist mind that we need. and they, very quickly, that essay was on Breitbart, and then a week later he was on Fox News.
Again, incumbency versus the future.
Yeah.
You know, how are we going to invest in a 90-year-old at the same time that we're investing in a charismatic 18-year-old?
Yeah.
We're still wagging our finger at the charismatic 18-year-old. I have met like brilliant kids, brilliant young people. They're far more worldly. I'm not even just saying that to like blow smoke. Some of them I'm like, damn, how'd you get over there? I'm like, damn, because listen, Gen Z is voting for Republicans. We didn't think that we didn't think it was possible.
Well,
we got there because we didn't think it was possible, so we left them vulnerable. We left young people vulnerable.
Yeah.
We left them vulnerable to disinformation. We left them vulnerable to people who came. Like sometimes people just want to know that someone cares. Like you ain't never knocked on my door, so you must not care about me.
Yeah.
You've not come to my college campus, so you must not care.
And also, even from a top line issue, like if you're not speaking to any of their problems,
anything they care about,
or
in the world that they know,
or any time you do speak on issues, it's like incremental or like going back to Kamala.
It's not. What do you think is what? Let me tell you.
Yeah, going back to Kamala Harris, like there is this unprecedented affordability crisis taking place. Americans experienced negative real wage growth for a year and a half under the Biden administration. That's gonna people are gonna punish you for that, like no matter what, right? They experience that. They're gonna be like, oh, I am seeing that this is the administration that's responsible for it.
They've seen capitalism not work for them.
Yeah. The alternative to that is it cannot be, we're going to give you $50,000 in tax credits if you start up a small business. Because that's not a solution.
It's not a systemic one.
Yeah, and it's also...
That's a Band-Aid.
But not only is it a Band-Aid, but it's also not an all-encompassing policy vision. Like there are so many, like people keep forgetting that we've diluted class in our political culture so much that people forget that like the working class is the overwhelming majority of voters.
Yes.
It's not corporate interests.
Indisputably.
It's not people that are, there's a lot of small business owners, sure, but like many of them are still owned and operated, so they're still working to a certain degree. Like, and they still.
If your paycheck cuts off.
Yeah.
and you have no more money source, you are a working class American.
Yes, exactly.
Welcome.
Unless you're making more money from capital accumulation, where your money is making the money for you, you're still technically on the working class. Yes, you're on the working class side, and you have working class needs. Same with renting versus home ownership. There is a higher percentage of home ownership than most Americans would assume. For sure. Obviously, that's different in big cities and whatnot. But still, by and large, because of our home ownership rates are so abysmally low in comparison to other nations, it's around, I think, 40%. In the state of California, it's like 44%. It's higher than you would think, but again, that means that 66%.
The real problem is that 6 people own the rest of it.
Or 56%, sorry. Yeah, but again, exactly. 56% of people are renting though. So you have to have a message that focuses on their issues. And we never do that. We never talk about like lowering the cost of rent
I'm just not gonna say never, because also there are tons of people who talk about this all the time. They don't always get famous. Like God bless, the attention that Zohran Mamdani got. Yeah. But like he ain't the only brother who's been talking about affordability. He's not the only person. For sure. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's like that's the other thing, right? Our media focuses on what it focuses on and who it focuses on. Yeah. And the fact that there are people who are talking common sense all over the place and are not getting any attention. There are better messengers than the people who are getting getting attention in this attention economy, right? But we care about historic blue checks, And not even like the now, I'm talking about from Twitter, blue checks. We care about people's clout. We care about those things and not necessarily the message. So what we then think is like, well, they're feeding me this over and over. That means that nobody's talking about it. There are people in the Democratic Party who are talking about common sense solutions every single day. And yes, and there are a whole bunch more who are in the way. And there are some who are in the way. Yeah. The battle that's happening, the tension that's happening right now is a good tension. Yeah. I think it's important that we go through it. I think it's important that we make our case. That we help them to understand that our viewpoint is not a us versus them. That's the other thing. I'm a beg people. This is my second time saying this today. I am begging people to stop looking at the political world in this linear, that everything is right, left, center. Yeah. Right? That's just not how people organize their politics, not how people organize their real lives. And we are ascribing it to them. We're leaving so many people who don't feel like they fit anywhere. That everybody fits in a bucket, and there's a prescribed message. Like there's a transcript for this bucket. It's like, oh, I'm talking to this person. What's the pre-approved message for that person? Like we're treating people like that. Instead of being like, these people are holistically. It is not left versus right. It is top versus bottom. When we are able to kind of like transfer it over to that, I think we will have a better recipe for how do we now go back out into the world and get people who we have left behind.
How do you think the Democrats change their branding?
We have to change the guard.
Yeah, because like right now, the reality of the matter is, if you ask an average person, their attitude is like, politics doesn't work for me. I don't know why I should vote for either party over one party over the other. And the way that people define the Democratic Party, unfortunately, is by whatever the Republicans say about them. Yeah. And I think a big part of the reason why, like even the Kamala Harris wants to do transgender surgeries, like bottom surgeries, the Guatemalan migrants at immigrant detention facilities, like that's not a key policy of the Democratic Party at all. And it's ironically something that even the Republicans have also done as well, because it's just like so marginal and it's just basic human rights. But the reason why the reason why they made it so prescient and so front-facing is because there weren't other things that she was fighting for that people could associate with the campaign.
Part of that, but mostly, we continue to give a huge pass to the media.
Yeah.
Like
for sure.
The idea that the media does not have a responsibility. Again, the cornerstone of a democracy is education. Yes. And if the media is not there to educate people on what's real, then we don't have a good democracy.
I mean, they're doing it right now with the Venezuela stuff.
They've been doing it for a really long time.
They do. I mean, yeah, they do it all the time. I know. This is my main gripe.
And that is also just the treatment of Democrats versus Republicans in the media. I think that the media they understand how they operate in a democracy. Theoretically, they do not know how they operate in a failing democracy. And we are in a failing democracy right now. Which means that their role has to be different. The ability to fact check, the ability to get and disseminate good information in a world of disinformation. Some media, I ain't saying all, some media has decided that that's not their responsibility. Oh yeah. That especially in this money and politics era, that it's the candidate's job to get their own message out. Yeah. So how often, if there's not a big contested race, does nobody know who the candidate is at all? And we blame the voter. Like, hey voter, how come you don't know who those justices are running for the court of common pleas, all right? Like, why don't you know this? I'm like, well, they don't have a website. There's no listing anywhere. Where are the organizations that have a responsibility to get people information? And how do we localize that? Like, we can decentralize it to the extent, but how do we localize that? How do we invest in it? There are people who are vulnerable to disinformation because we don't have institutions that are trustworthy. Yeah. And the media plays into that. Like a Republican says something and the media will run that ad nauseum all day, every day. And then the left, the broader left will then be like, Democrats, why aren't you proving that you aren't doing this, that, and the fourth, right? So there's going to be less grace. We talked about it, right? There's going to be less grace for Democrats. Again, if they buckle next week, no one's going to think that it's because they actually cared about people and that they couldn't take seeing people suffer anymore. They're going to blame Democrats for buckling, not Republicans for literally being cruel, not Republicans for hating them.
But again, that you're right. That's a structural hurdle that will always exist.
But it doesn't have to always exist.
I think
that's the thing we got to change. How do we change the Democrats' branding? That's number one thing.
With the way that the system is designed, like if you are trying to do right by people, you're always going to have that structural hurdle because, like I said,
so then we're asking for pain.
It's much easier, but that's why you need real believers that are real fighters, so that they can actually white knuckle through it and grit their
The day we
teeth
got
and still-
435 fighters in Congress, that is a unicorn. That is that,
no, I
but I get what
understand,
you're saying.
but that's what it is. It's kind of like, it's the same thing as like when people are like, oh well, this candidate, like one of the arguments is always like Kamala Harris lost because she's a black woman, right? And there's truth to that, of course. White supremacy is a major hurdle to overcome. But the way I always try to explain to people is like, that's just a constant. Like,
yeah. You got to account for it. You got to keep it pushing.
That's just a constant. It's just a hurdle you have to clear. So that means your threshold is going to be a lot higher. But you can still clear it with good messaging and messaging discipline and like being a real fighter and being earnest.
Yeah, rural organizing, rural investments.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that we've talked piecemeal about all of the different things that the Democratic Party can do.
Yeah.
Should be doing. And again, going back to deciding who it is, what is the thing that is keeping the Democratic Party from investing in young voters, in marginalized voters, in frequent voters? Why do we focus so heavily on swing voters in the heartland? Like why do we invest in those tropes that don't serve us anymore? Right?
Yeah.
What is the thing? I think it's consultancy culture. I think it's again that fear of what happens when the system no longer revolves around us as incumbents, but is instead actually fair. What happens when the game is unrigged?
I also do think it's partially because of is corporate interest, right? Because like the way that you target the disenfranchised, like the historically disenfranchised low propensity voters, is either by having a Trump-style candidacy, which favors right-wing reactionary sentiment. That's the reality. Like culture wars.
That one will never work for anybody who have morals.
Well, but the thing is, like, Democrats need to understand, like, they can't win the culture war because the culture war was designed as a wedge issue, designed by the right, so that they can distract people with these different. With these different policy positions that are ultimately very harmful for massive swaths of society. But that's not a battle that you can fight. So that's why I always say you have to like bring it back to class, bring it back to affordability, bring it back to material realities, because that is the actual undefeated method.
And I think part of it also is bringing it back to the truth.
Yeah.
We can't be out here talking about we need a strong Republican Party and then also go and make the case that people shouldn't be voting for Republicans anymore.
Or saying Trump is, I think, going to be very authoritarian or a fascist, and then just like have no issues with him. Like, people
looked at that and they were like, man, your urgency is not matching your words.
Yes, exactly. If you think that this is like if you think that this is an ever-present threat to American democracy or what remains of it, right? And I did. Then you can't be running around with like Liz Cheney. Like you can't be running
I felt
around
like the
with Liz
stakes
Cheney.
were so high that we had to run a perfect race. And that brings us back to like your first question to me was like, well, how did you win and other people didn't?
Yeah.
Like I know that we have a responsibility to, as much as we can, run a perfect race. No one can be perfect.
Yeah.
No elected official will be perfect because you're not perfect.
Yeah.
It is human nature that we can't be.
Yeah.
But I know that we have to try. Like we have to try to do things right. Like I've never missed a vote.
Yeah,
right?
And you also have to be more perfect than
the other side. Yeah,
you have
absolutely.
to be more perfect than your Republican
I'm a progressive.
colleagues.
I gotta be.
And you have to be more perfect than your centrist colleagues.
You're institutionalist.
Yeah.
I can't move the way institutionalists move in this place, right?
But there's also but then it goes back to the media where like they do have so much grace for whichever the right wing flank is, whether it's a race between a left flank candidate and a centrist, or whether it be a centrist Democrat and a right wing.
It's like subliminal messaging.
Yeah.
Like they'll ask two questions. I literally just watched this debate. We were just driving down here. Watched the debate between Zoran and Andrew Cuomo.
Yeah.
And like the moderators, I don't think that they even understand sometimes like the implicit biases in the way they talk to us.
I know.
Right? The way that they talk to us.
Yeah.
They're gonna say, but how you gonna pay for it? How you gonna pay for it?
Yeah.
How you gonna pay for it? We have a higher standard to clear every time.
They don't even ask that to Cuomo for when he says like, oh, we're gonna get 5,000 cops. Like they asked him one time. That only
where are you getting them? Where are you
time.
paying for it? Never, one time. So it was like when I was running. When I come on day one, we got to come with clear understanding of policy.
Yeah.
Right. Because you speak well. Like you're an orator, right? You're passionate. You're an organizer. So now you got to prove that you could be a policy wonk. We have to prove that we can be a uniter, not a divider. We got to prove our loyalty. But then you get other people who I ain't gonna say no names, but they ran statewide multiple times and never had to ever talk about any policy at all.
Yeah. Or their position is...
how do we decide who gets to talk about policy
or their position in the party infrastructure is literally to be the rotating villain.
And now people are wondering why they didn't know who that person was. It's like, wait, did we just not know it? I'm like, I don't know. Well, go back to the campaign. What do you actually remember about people?
Okay. Well.
I ain't talking about nobody specific. I'm talking in general.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say if you're talking about one specific person.
One person. No, I'm talking about multiple people. It happens
If you were
all the
talking
time,
about
though.
one specific person, there are some people in
If you're
this
talking
room
about
that
one specific person, you can guess.
some specific people, maybe in this room as well, were like, oh, let's overlook some of their negative qualities because maybe they're gonna be a part of this left flank, and then that didn't happen. Anyway, whatever.
Hey, we all have our kinks. Right? The left have kinks just like the center does.
Yeah. There is but as far as like this imbalance, it is always there. It's ever present. It's one of the most annoying things. It's just like if you are the person that says better things are possible, you automatically are met with cynicism. Mm-hmm. Like you're met with cynicism by the public in general as well, and you're met with the very same cynicism from the instruments of media, where they're just like, "What do you mean better things are possible? There's something wrong here. Mm-hmm. You're supposed to tell me everything sucks." Or you can only be like directionally you can have like these radical agenda items as long as it's on the right wing direction, and as long as it's like as long as the targets are vulnerable populations, marginalized communities, like undocumented immigrants, like defenseless people that are left defenseless or left to be defended by regular folk, and it's slanted. Mm-hmm. In that direction,
and it just seeps into people. Yeah. I remember when my grandma was having a little house party for me. I was the early candidate, so she just brought her friends. It was super cute, and all her little friends, they politically connected, mm-hmm. as old black ladies go. Mm-hmm. Love them, and we were talking about Bernie because I was like, I don't know, we're talking about, they're like, I don't believe, he's selling this, that, and the fourth. It wasn't all of them, but a couple of them, yeah, he's selling this, that, and the fourth. This is my family, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, do y'all know how left-wing I am? And then, so it came back to, Medicare for all, because remember, in the election, every time he went to a debate, it was always like, how are you going to pay for Medicare for all? How are you going to pay for Medicare for all? Every time. And what that does, it just, programs people to think about it. So now we ask it. So now I got my black elders, my aunties and uncles, asking me, how's he going to pay for Medicare for all? I was like, you already have Medicare.
Yeah, that's true.
You already have Medicare.
That's the craziest thing, because it's always people that already have Medicare that are like, wait a minute, this program might not work. It's like, well, you're a recipient.
But it was easy to cut through it.
Yeah.
So when we talked about it, I was like, tell me what you want in the world. That's how I started. Tell me what the world is mm-hmm. that you believe you want to leave for your kids.
Yeah.
And you let them talk, and it's like, oh, well, I think that, yeah, of course I don't want my kid to have diabetes and not be able to afford insulin. Right? We talk about that. It's like, well, what's stopping us from having it? Where sometimes you just have to deconstruct the propaganda. You got to deconstruct the programming that we've been through. Again, we don't always take the time to do that. Sometimes with the left, we're not patient enough with people. Right? We, just like it's easier to tear something down than to build something, it's easier to create an opt-out than an opt-in.
Yeah.
The reality is that we need more people. We need people to believe. We need people to drink the Kool-Aid, as it were, which means that we have to explain. Sometimes we think we don't got to do no explaining. I was like, I wanted them people to leave voting for Bernie Sanders, right? So I was like, I got to explain to them why they deserve Medicare for all, why they deserve a living wage, right?
Yes,
they deserve to be in their retirement, not living on a fixed income. Too many seniors are like, I live on a fixed income, and that's just the reality of things in America. So it's like, when I talk to people, it's like they have been trained to limit. The older you get, people say, oh, you get more conservative the older you get. That's not what's happening. You are having what you believe is the realm of possibility shrunk for you.
Yeah.
Life is shrinking your realm of possibility.
Yeah.
It's shrinking in and
your
shrinking.
Your
lived experience is shrinking in your realm of possibility.
Over and over again.
Imagine your lived experience in the political system.
Yeah.
Right? Generations of politics. You like, I came rah, and here we are. So now you start to accept that better ain't possible. So now you're listening for better ain't possible, and you think that anybody who tells you that is lying to you. So it's our job, and we should take it on enthusiastically to say that actually here's why better is possible, because sometimes you just gotta remind people where they started.
Yeah.
I reminded those old folk who I love where they started. I'm like, shit, if anybody knows that better is possible, it is you, because remember where you were. Right? Folks in my life born in the 40s.
There's just no way Bernie was able to communicate that, though.
He did not.
I don't think he was capable of communicating that. But
our next person like that does need to be capable of it.
Yeah, but that's also part of the reason why, representation also does matter quite a bit in this regard. Having a diverse, we are one of the most diverse countries on the planet. And a lot of people, I think, forget that. oftentimes. And obviously with that comes friction, especially when we leave a lot of the dark chapters of our history unaddressed, and the wounds are still there, the economic inequalities are still there.
They exist.
And people don't even want to recognize it, and people want to even debate whether or not it exists, which is ridiculous. But outside of that, I think the positive aspect of that is that, like, by and large, Americans are also much more open-minded, especially if they do live in a diverse environment where they go, yeah, these are my neighbors. Like, it's not an accident that cities.
People.
It's not an accident that cities are densely populated areas are more blue.
Or less xenophobic.
Yeah, or less xenophobic, or more blue in general. That's just a byproduct of, like, being around people.
Yeah.
And it makes it much more difficult for you to believe what you see on TV about, like, certain racialized stereotypes or certain things about, like, other people, where you're like, no, I see these
You
people
have facts
every
to
day.
the
They're my
contrary.
neighbors. You humanize them.
Thinking about the left, I love the left. I'm very much a part of it. And I'm begging people, like, my blackness informs my politics.
Yeah.
Like, they are not separated. You know, my blackness informs my politics just as much as growing up working class poor. Working poor informs my politics. It's a part of me, but it's also a part of the language that I can speak. It's a part of, like, how I view the world. It is a perspective that is meaningful. I am begging people to not ask me to erase that, or to not expect me to erase that.
Yeah.
We are not gonna. We actually don't win that way.
Yeah.
We don't win by saying, please suppress a part of yourself to be a part of this larger group.
Yeah.
Actually, like, we should be able to come. It's the reason why I was able to go and talk to, you know, I'm able to talk to the young cats on the block, you know, because they know me, because, you know, I've lived them. I speak their language. We don't all speak each other's languages. I don't speak everybody's language.
Yeah. Do you sometimes feel like you have to, obviously, no matter what happens, like, I guess, like, the term for it is code switching as well, but, like, you have to sometimes just, like, not raise the issue? Because this is something that I've been, like, I'm white, but I'm also Muslim. And I, post October 7, have basically had to walk this delicate tightrope of, like, do I talk about, you know, how fucked up it is that someone's just, like, straight up calling me an Islamist fundamentalist terrorist or whatever, jihadist? Because if I do raise that issue, then that's all the conversation is going to be about. And then I do sometimes feel like I'm going to alienate folks that don't have that experience, or can't even, like, personalize that experience at all. White people, for the most part, white men, for the most part, right? And that's primarily my audience.
Yeah.
So sometimes you just have to, like, eat it. Do you ever feel like that's a thing that you do in general?
I never want to lead people astray with this.
Yeah.
I have, I believe, lived a different existence than people. I had some little kids ask me, like, Summer, what's it like to be, like, the only black woman, you know, in a space? They're, like, business or whatever. And I was like, your teachers are gonna be really mad, but I'm gonna tell you, my rule that I made with myself is that I'm gonna never leave a room and be the only person uncomfortable. I just won't. And like that is my rule. So when it comes up to it, yeah, I will go in there and I'm the one who will drop the bomb. I'm the one, if someone is saying inappropriate things, or they're, like, leaving out, you know, if they're leaving out or erasing, you know, a critical part of the narrative, I'm gonna go ahead and put it back in there. The elephant is standing there. Like, I cannot not see the elephant. And I'm not gonna keep staring at this elephant and everybody else is acting like it's not there. I gotta bring it up. And I also recognize that, right, I answer to my constituents. So I do have a responsibility to make sure that I'm explaining it in a way that they can grasp and that they can understand, but I do it. I talked about race on the doors. Like, I exist in the Western Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
You know, Western Pennsylvania is not, like, it ain't the People's Republic of Pittsburgh. People think it is because I represent it, but it ain't. It is a majority white district. It's also a majority suburban district. Like, the city of Pittsburgh, I have all the city of Pittsburgh. It is less than half of my district. I go into actual, like, exurban rural communities. So I represent,
like, communities that were literally designed around white flight.
Absolutely.
Like,
and beyond, and
like,
even beyond. Like, I represent them once and then beyond.
Yeah.
Like, I represent, you know, areas that had not gone blue for quite a while. They're Trump areas. Like, I got to go through Trump flags to get to people in my districts. You know, so I have an experience talking to people. So when I talk about race, I'm not talking about race coming from a majority minoritized district. I'm not. So it's a choice, and I do choose to do it, and I don't always, because you know what I say is I think your gaze should be you, not them.
Yeah.
How do you feel on today? Like, do you feel like you have the energy to humanize yourself on today?
Yeah, that's exactly that's what I try to explain to people. It's like, it's sometimes good to take on the emotional labor, but you're not gonna feel up to it every single time.
Probably. And I try
Especially
not to
if
do it in a way that alienates people too. Like I
Yeah.
could talk about race and also just not be excluding you. Like
Yeah.
I think everybody has a perspective. So
Yeah.
I could talk about race and I'm gonna also talk about the lived experiences of of poor white folk.
Yeah.
And I talk about it passionately because I also want poor white folk to have and to inherit a better world.
Yeah.
I want them to inherit a government that cares about them, that feeds them, that ensures they're fed at least, that ensures they're housed, that
Yeah.
ensures they're healthy. I want that for them passionately. So, and I want it for me, right? And I want it for me. And my only understanding, I talk about race because I'm like, the reason we don't have it is because enough people don't want it for me.
Yeah.
So I'm not your enemy. I'm not your problem.
One of the most relevant versions of what we're talking about, which was obviously like something that Lee Atwater famously spoke on, is the destruction of the welfare state as a mechanism to engage in anti-black politics. The notion that you move on from saying the N-word and then the aftermath of the civil rights struggle to basically talking about desegregation or busing, all the way to the welfare queens narratives, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was so successful in terms of getting working poor people in white communities to get on board
To
with
abhor something.
Yeah, with the destruction of a welfare structure that it was actually beneficial for them as well. And then, of course,
The same with affirmative action.
signed by Bill Clinton, a Democrat as well. But yeah, exactly, affirmative action too. And now we're seeing that happening with the shutdown and the SNAP benefits that were taken away from 42 million Americans.
And
Have you seen the crazy stuff that's going on the internet, like with the AI videos?
oh my God, I
It's insane.
aggressively avoid AI videos.
Okay, so
from Trump at least.
so there are Fox News went and covered, as though this was a real video, a collection of AI videos that we
Yeah.
found with black women
Yes.
speaking to the camera, saying, "I have 7 children from 7 baby daddies."
Yes.
And the taxpayer needs to foot the bill. The notion of like irresponsible and entitled about
Yes.
And angry. And they I could not believe it that they were just like using AI videos. in
I
this
absolutely can
way.
believe it.
Well, I mean, I can believe it too, but like it's still fucked
Do
up.
I
when you
believe that
see
they
it.
will use racial animus to
that's
their end?
true.
But also when you said that 42 million people are cut from SNAP benefits, and also farmers.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
again, when we talk about the other
Even-
what SNAP actually does is
Even
a
National
subsidy.
Grocery.
It is a subsidy to groceries,
Yeah.
to small business, to farmers. It is helping two people. It is helping two groups at
Exactly.
once. Right, working class people, but the reason why your government is giving it out is because it's also helping industry.
Yeah,
It's helping the
and
economy.
Also
it spurs
grocery
the
stores.
economy.
Grocery stores.
Yes.
Yeah, every dollar spent on SNAP.
So Trump is
gets-
willing to bite all of our noses off
Yeah.
to spite his face.
And I cannot believe it because like the conversation obviously that's taking place right now is over, offering additional or continuing subsidies for ACA, so tens of millions of Americans can continue being on health care.
To go to the doctor.
Yeah, to be able to go to the doctor. And the Republican,
not get a $1,000 MRI.
The Republican retort to that was, oh yeah, you guys want health care for people to continue even though it's already super costly and that needs to be fixed. Guess what? Now we're going to starve 42 million people, and it's going
So
to.
what you want? You want healthcare or you want to eat?
Yeah, they're like, oh, and now we're going to cook the farmers, like you said, because it's a subsidy for them, and we're going to cook the grocery store chains as well, because it's a subsidy for them as well.
And you know why they get away with it? Because there is a shared responsibility model that we have in this country, right? When a shutdown happens, everybody's blamed. And it's not like proportional blame. Republicans will always win in that environment. They will take.
But they're losing. They're losing right now.
When we're out of the authoritarian regime, that's the loss. That's the only loss that matters for me. But like right now, what they are betting on, I'm not saying that they won't lose this time. What they are betting on is that when this is all said and done, they're going to get to share responsibility with the Democrats. Because there's always going to be a CNN anchor who says, well, Democrats didn't sign the bill to pay for SNAP. They're always going to say that instead of like, you guys are political commentators. You know what was in the bill.
Yeah.
You know what the bill did.
Yeah.
It's easier to tell that. So it's like, so now there's a shared model of responsibility. So instead of every day, somebody's news anchor who is telling the truth, it is not partisan to go on TV and say that Donald Trump and Republicans want you to choose between health care and food.
Yeah.
It's not partisan to say
Yeah,
that.
that's just the truth.
Just the truth.
That's just
That's what they
literally
want
the
right
truth.
now. Do you want to starve or do you want to go to the doctor? You want to starve or you want some Tylenol? Right? That's just the truth. And they have convinced themselves that bipartisan means that they have to find, they will dig if they can to find some blame to put on the other side. And in that model, Republicans get to win. I ain't saying that the win is necessarily like you win a majority. They get to survive another day.
Yeah.
Because they don't ever have to take responsibility.
Yeah.
We need to pin them on responsibility. When we get out of here, it needs to be clear that they were willing to starve millions of people.
I will push back here though a little
Go
bit. Okay. I do think
I ain't
that
saying the Democrats don't do nothing.
I do think that it is. We go back to the same like pre-existing hurdles that always is going to exist. We can't change.
No, yes, we can.
No, I'm saying like, but in the current confines of like how this works, the media is always
The
going
limit
to do
does
that.
not exist. You never saw Mean Girls?
No, but no, I didn't. But no. But what I'm trying to say is, it is upon the existing National Democratic Party to have competent voices.
Yes.
To go out and speak on it, and even do what you just did.
This is a yes
here.
man.
Yeah, of course. But what I mean is like what you just did. They should do on CNN. I think that also drives.
And then
clicks.
the anchor is going to close, and then
Yeah.
he's going to go back and say, Democrats didn't vote to open the government.
But
That's what they go through every
But
time.
Republicans do that. But Republicans do that.
I ain't talking about Republicans. I'm talking about the anchor, like
No,
the media.
I know, but the Republicans have done that so successfully that like I think there are lessons to learn, right? Especially not being afraid to be adversarial with
Yeah.
mainstream media.
I agree with that.
And of course, it's much better if you have like a very big outlet that is uncompromisingly pro-Democratic Party, which the Democrats don't really have. I guess you have MSNBC, but it's nothing in
Not even-
comparison
not
to
even a
Fox
little bit.
News. Yeah, it's nowhere near as successful as Fox News, and also MSNBC, entirely comprised of former Bush era mouthpieces. That's the other crazy situation here. But basically, like, you do need to go out and
Yeah.
fight. You do need to go on TV and be like, no, fuck that. This is wrong. This is what the Republicans are doing.
Okay.
And I don't think there's enough of that happening
You're right.
with this current talent pool that we
Yeah.
have. There are people like yourself. There are young and vibrant, dynamic candidates. There are young and there are candidates who come from a working class background. There are politicians who want to fight and center the working class in their issues, in their messaging, and there are people who want to fight. But unfortunately, I think like
There are impediments.
large,
Internal ones.
yeah, the large section of Democrats that are the most visible, like the leadership of the party, they're not doing it.
So we got to choose right now. So back to like, what will the Democratic Party be? Will it be? We have to choose. Even the Republicans relied on this at the end of the day. They became who they are because they were steered that way.
Yeah.
The Democratic Party will only survive and we will only be victorious if we exist in coalitions and in new coalitions. The elected officials themselves is a small piece. And it has to actually, I'm not going to say it has to, like the importance of it or at least the emphasis on it has to be counterbalanced. We are actually strongest when our electeds are reflective of our actual leaders, our movement leaders, our labor leaders, our media, our people. We have to, our job should be getting those folks and moving in a direction. But we will be successful when people are like, I actually feel a stake in this. The reason why the Democratic Party is dying, it's not a healthy party. The Democratic Party is not healthy.
Yeah, no.
And it is not healthy because we're not being honest. We are not being honest. People do not feel that this is the place to build.
Yeah.
They don't feel like this is the place that they want to make a home. And if we can't build a home here, the Republican Party ain't getting weaker. And I don't even care about the Republican Party. The right is not getting weaker. The fascist right, the white nationalist Christian folk are not getting.
They're so successful that they start infighting. Like ironically enough,
They're infighting and still have not destroyed each other yet.
Yeah, exactly. Because there's always the unifying principle of deregulation.
Yeah.
Like a deregulatory agenda and a tax cuts for the wealthy agenda is always going to be their North Star. And I don't think the Democrats have that same North Star in the opposite direction.
And they're trying to not even create a North Star.
Yes, and that's what's so frustrating. And that's what we go back to, which is like, if you are not defined by your values, if you are not definable by like easily identifiable, tangible policy line items that people can always go back to, because this is the one thing that like Bernie did very well. You always know
That's why he blew up.
he is for healthcare for all. He's for free college. No matter what you throw his way, he's always going to stand on that.
Yeah.
Right? Sometimes maybe he engages in what my friends like to call vulgar Bernieism and go back and forth on, immigration, things like that. But like those are the definable traits of Bernie Sanders. Those are the definable policies of Bernie Sanders. And if the Democrats also had a similar system, I think that it would be much easier for them to get this message across.
Yes, it would be. When we get that, the day that we get that will be the day that the two-party duopoly no longer exists.
Yeah. No, for sure.
And that's just what it is.
Yeah.
It'll be that day.
I'm fine with letting the establishment Democrats be the right flank, like the marginal right flank in the one-party system that we have, Chinese government style.
That's why I say our victory comes from coalition.
Yeah. Yeah.
We need a coalition style. We need a coalition style situation here because again, we're not the same. I am not the same as the most right-wing, Democrats, in the sense that sometimes I'm not sure if our interests are going. I don't think we're going in the same direction.
No, it's not. No, that's you're absolutely right, and that is the major problem with the Democratic Party is that they want to present themselves aesthetically as though they're on our side. When they're campaigning, they want to act like they're on our side. They want to act like they're also invested in moving the country in a certain direction. But when it comes down to it, when it comes down to policy or when it comes down to like actual legislative agendas, they are not. They are, I would go so far as to say, antagonistic sometimes.
Yeah, there are some folks.
Like, there are definitely...
And the problem is that they get lifted up.
Yeah, but therein lies the problem because it is a liberal capitalist party.
We have convinced too many people that the tent is big enough for Joe Manchin, but it is not big enough for Zohran Mamdani.
Yes. The tent never expands on the left, and we have to always claw the party back and ironically enough, like create momentum at a time when the party's national recognition is at an all-time low. When people are just like, this sucks. You guys aren't doing anything.
Can I answer the question you didn't ask yet, just before we leave?
What?
Then why do we do it? Like, then why stay? Why stick around?
Yeah.
Why keep fighting for it?
Sure.
And I think that the reason is like...
I wasn't going to ask that.
I know you weren't. That's what I said.
Yeah.
Like, I asked the question that you were going to ask.
Because I know why you do. You have to. There's no other option.
It's true, but I want people to know that.
Okay,
because
go ahead.
I think that sometimes our people don't realize that. And feel like, well, why do it? Why not just be independent? Like, I want the system to exist where we can have spaces that are ours. It don't exist right now.
Yeah.
I care enough about the values, the things that we're fighting for right now, that it is by any means necessary. People still have to be in the game. We still got to be in the game. And at the end of the day, what comes out of this, whether the party lives or doesn't, how it exists into the future is up to it, is up to us.
Yeah.
Whether it does or whether it does not, I still want people to be housed.
Yeah, also...
I still want us to stop dropping bombs on people.
And
right?
also, you're still going to be here. You know what I mean? Like, whether the Democrats exist or not, like, you still have the same issues. Someone has to address them.
But all of us do. So that's why I want us to like, you can't opt out of the system, my friends.
Yeah.
And I know there's a lot of people who think that they're just like strategically and very wisely opting out. I'm like, baby, you are accounted for.
Yeah.
You are accounted for in this system, man. I got colleagues who talk about it. They count on you to think that you've opted out. They count on you to think that,
Exactly.
you are actually besting the system and not the system besting you. You're accounted for.
Yeah, always remember, if you can't maintain revolutionary optimism, you can also remind yourself of spite-based politics as well, because some of the worst forces of capital, some of the worst scumbags are relying on you not paying attention to what's going on and are excited at the prospect of being able to successfully disenfranchise you so that you just go, there's no hope. There's nothing I can... Just think about those guys.
Do you have hope?
Of course. I mean, I always have hope because I don't know. I mean, I've been doing this for a long time and I've seen...
You're 34.
I've been a political commentator
as
like a openly socialist political commentator.
We're the gerontocracy now. We've been doing this shit for a long time.
Yeah, I know I'm like relatively young in comparison to all these other people, but like, it's just I've seen so much failure, and I'm used to it, and my expectation is not that we're just gonna immediately change things, and I think that comes with time. You learn that like. No, you are actually marginally moving society in a better direction by just consistently pushing on these certain things. And I think some of the most like hopeful moments that I've had, or some of the most like galvanizing moments that I've had, is like I have been an anti-Zionist for like an openly anti-Zionist in my professional media career for 12 years, and for 12 years it was mostly looked at as like, what are you even talking about? Or looked at with disdain. There were so many things I was worried about actually saying, even though they were correct. Because I knew that the response from that would be, oh, you're going to get censored. You can't say that. That's unacceptable. And now, while the death toll is immeasurable, it's incalculable amounts of pain, but in spite of all of that, I've seen in my lifetime something I never thought would happen. And I think a lot of Palestinians I talk to have a similar attitude on this as well, where it's like they never thought that in such a comparatively short period of time, so many people became cognizant of this reality that like Israel was this unstoppable evil death force, basically. Like that was unheard of. So when I see that dramatic attitude shift in the broader consciousness of the West, from people who are basically conditioned not to care about this stuff at all under every different circumstance, when I see that attitude shift, I can't help but hold out hope that we can actually make people aware of these issues, and we can actually mobilize people in this direction, and we can actually make some change.
I share the exact same anecdote.
Yeah.
From when I started, it was like our number one thing that we were like, will we be able to talk about this with the fullness that it deserves and actually not be just like immediately like ushered off the stage and silenced? And yeah, the answer became yes way quicker than I thought.
Yeah.
Way quicker than I thought.
Yeah, and I think like I'm critical of NGOs sometimes in the role they play in advancing American interests, American imperial interests. But like, I still recognize that 2021 was, I think, a pivotal moment for pro-Palestinian advocacy, when Amnesty International, when the Human Rights Watch, and all these other organizations said, including B'Tselem, which is the Israeli human rights organization, said that Israel's an apartheid state. Israel was an apartheid state from the beginning, but they recognized it. And I think that expanded the permission boundary. Yeah. They expanded like what you could say. Because you could always fall back to, well, these guys are, these are important, verified institutions that people care about. They have influence, and they're saying it, so you can't come at me for saying this as well. And slowly but surely now...
It gives protection so that when someone goes out alone, they know that they're no longer going alone.
Yes. And then, obviously, in the last 2 years, the media environment is rapidly shifted as well. And a lot of the mainstream institutions that refused to accurately assess the situation or to speak on it, speak on the death and destruction with real terms, and consistently tried to contextualize this violence and why it had to happen and collateralize Palestinian lives, they were met with a lot of enmity.
People forced them to stop doing that.
Yeah, people were like, no, this is fucking bullshit.
People
like,
are not
lying.
unpowerful.
Yeah, exactly. So that's exactly what is exactly what gives me hope, is that we do have a lot of power. We do have the opportunity to be able to stop things before it gets worse. And the same goes for resisting against the Trump administration's encroachments on civil liberties. And they are responsive to that sort of thing. They are responsive to this sort of pushback. And I think that's the reason why we can't stop. And we have to maintain revolutionary optimism and stay the course.
A message.
Yeah. Summer Lee, thank you so much. You were incredible. This was great. Why don't you do more TV stuff? Yeah.
Nah, hey, I talk when I have something to say.
We got a lot of media people in this chat. I'm sure you'll be getting.
What's up?
I'm sure. What?
Chad was loving that.
Yeah, I'm sure there's gonna be hella people hitting you up after this. They're gonna be like, "Yo, come and."
I love talking. Like a lot of people, I don't want to talk when I don't have anything to say.
There is so
Not
much.
that I have lots of things to say.
First of all, you are a yapper.
Period.
Like me.
Period.
Okay? This is the first time I've had.
Definitely, like when I get my diagnoses,
You love yapping.
I'm gonna get my diagnosis.
And you got the gift of gab.
I do.
So you're.
That's why I'm a congressperson.
Yeah. No, but not many Congress people are like that.
No, but I mean, like,
Yeah.
everybody got the thing that got them here.
Yeah.
My power of talking got me here.
Yeah, you'd kill it on. Yeah, I mean, you are a weapon for the Democrats. I don't know if they realize it or not, but you are a weapon.
You should ask them.
Yeah.
No, I'm joking, but hey, it is what it is. But no, we're the fight. It is what it. Hey, whether somebody acknowledges our movement, whether they acknowledge what we are trying to build here,
Yeah.
we're going to build it anyways.
Yeah,
And that's what gives me hope.
absolutely.
It's ours to build.
It's also
what
a good
time
week.
to be alive.
It is also a good week to feel hope because I was like,
Yeah.
The Zoran stuff was huge. I'm not gonna lie. Like I never thought that it would happen.
We did it, Zoe. We're changing it.
Yeah.
It's not that we did it, Joe, anymore. We did it, Zoe.
We did it, Zoe.
We did it, Zoe.
Is right, because like I just, being surrounded by all these like canvas leads at the party, I was just like, man, this is it. This happened in spite of all of the endless amount of media coverage and how hyper scrutinized this campaign was, and you know this from your own personal experience, like. Any point of marginalization is just so cynically weaponized against you, no matter what.
Especially these days, it's getting worse.
Yeah, you just have to. Because people are.
But listen, as a black woman,
Yeah.
I have actually never seen the type of racism that I see when it is a Muslim candidate.
Yeah.
Is astounding.
It's insane.
And it's because there are permission like people have still, even though they are off the hinges right now, a lot of people were still socialized that like you can't just outwardly say that.
Yeah.
About black folks. They have never been socialized in the way
Yeah.
to not approach Muslims and Muslim candidates in the way that they are.
Yeah.
And it's like Democrats, Republicans, Independents,
it's
people
also
were
because-
off the chains.
I think it's also because like white supremacy is such a fundamental part of American society. Because I think about this all the time. Like I always say, like there is a permission threshold of permissible bigotry.
Yeah.
Right. Misogyny. Like there's a misogyny, anti-blackness, anti-trans behavior, and it swings, right?
Mm-hmm.
But anti-blackness is such a foundational, such a foundational part of American culture that like it's become, it's been imprinted into our culture in a way where like you can get away with saying things that are basically the same as like saying the N-word, but without saying it ever. Because if you were to say that, everyone goes, "Oh, that's fucked up."
I was literally going to say that racists really think that the N-word just impacts us. It's like, I care less about you saying the N-word and more about you using the system to oppress me. That's actually what I'm trying to say.
That's something that I try
Neither
to...
here nor there. Don't say it to me.
Well, people also...
Don't say it to a black person either.
White people think it's just a mean word. That's the problem.
That's-
They don't understand that like it's
Yeah,
just...
our problem is actually the history behind it, right?
It's not like, oh, well, you can say cracker, but I can't say the N-word. It's like, well, there's just no...
You can also eat a cracker. Like, what are we talking about here?
There's no systematic oppression or continued oppression associated with like anti-whiteness on the virtue of whiteness. This is why it's not the same. But it's very difficult to explain that to people.
But yeah.
All right, well, I don't want to take
Thanks
more
for
of your
coming.
time.
I hope that
this
your
was
Capitol tour
amazing.
lived up. The Capitol.
Yes. No,
Come back.
this is dope. You guys have higher ceilings than I thought you would.
Cannon has higher ceilings than this.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
And Longworth is
Longworth is a cave. Don't go to Longworth.
Of course. Sitting or standing?
let's do sitting and standing.
Okay. Let's do both.
Let me move this over.
You guys want to stand up?
Sure.
This is a comfy couch. It's more comfy than I thought it was going to be.
Lore, this is Nancy Pelosi's old couch.
No. No.
I didn't even mention it. This is Nancy Pelosi's old couch.
Okay.
You look dapper.
Oh, thank you. I dressed up for you. I dressed up for
Meanwhile, I
Congress.
wore jeans for you.
No, it's all good.
Also, I'm off the clock.
I never really wear suits or jackets or anything like that. So I was like, you know what? We're going to DC. We might as well this time
Do
around.
it.
Yeah. But yeah,
Do it
thank you
big.
so much for everything. Thank you so much for
guys.
opening.
It's great. Yeah.
One more ask.
What's up?
Do you want to do it direct to camera?
Oh, these people want me to do it direct to camera.
We love a direct to camera.
We love
What do
direct to
you? What do
camera.
She
you?
has more to say.
Well, do I?
Yeah. No, listen to them. They're
Yeah,
right.
yeah, no. They want me to do it about the shutdown.
About the shutdown.
Yeah, if you want to just cameo, you're welcome.
You wanna cameo?
Too.
Yeah.
Hold on. Hey team, where you running from? Where you running from? Now y'all don't want to be in it.
Yeah, just like it's day 37 of the government shutdown. I'm here with Hassan Piker, showing around the Capitol.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'll take
I still have to turn over. Hey guys, it is day 37 of the shutdown. We are now in the longest shutdown ever, but spoiler alert, I'm actually here with Hassan Piker because I was giving him a tour of the Capitol.
Yeah.
But because it is in the shutdown, the Capitol was largely empty. There's not too much activity
Probably
going
better.
on.
Probably better that way. But they need to get back to work.
And that's what the hope is, right? We know that right now, right? Republicans are crushing people. They're crushing working class people, making folks choose between their paychecks, between eating, between SNAP benefits, between LIHEAP, right? Is cruel. And that is a false option. What we're arguing for is that, yeah, we absolutely can open this government right now. And we do not have to sacrifice people's health care or their food. So we want people to recognize that as we talk about this, we can have it all. And we have to reject any narrative that tells us that working people have to choose, that working people have to choose between one struggle or another. Our government is here to serve those needs. And this shutdown is fundamentally about that. So we just want you to stay tuned. We wanted to just come in with this update that we have broken a record, and it's not a good one.
Yeah.
That this
Get back
is
here,
now
Mike
the longest.
Johnson. People have to keep going to work even when they're not getting paid. How come you're not here?
And that's the message.
Okay. Where's the restroom? Right here?
Yep.
I'm gonna take my mic off real quick.
You should do that.
No,
Yeah.
I've done this at the DNC before, accidentally.
Somewhere somebody has. Yeah. If you just go right into the other door. Someone has mic'd up.
I got you. Oh,
Hours of mic'd up conversations with me before, and I'm afraid that they never really.
Oh, well, this is all live, so it's already released.
Spoiler alert! There's spoiler alert. No, I don't think anybody's ever been with a mic because you forget them. Like when you just have like the camera mics on.
Oh yeah, he's peed with the mic on, live in front of 30,000 people.
The beginning of the pandemic. This nice
Probably shouldn't have mentioned that.
Took a shower on Zoom in Pittsburgh Public Schools, y'all. She did ask for the shower.
How you feeling, Chad? You like that?
Everybody saw it, y'all. It's funny because she was completely naked. She took a shower. She took a shower. It was devastating and sad, guys. Devastating and sad. Terrible. That's great. But you know, she lives to die another day. She's still in the game. Good for her. I feel like I would have flipped one.
Oh, I gotta throw this mic on, Chad.
Change my name. I'm doing it. That's just me though.